smackdown. In a world where truth is bent, we've got science on our side. Flat Earth beats on, it's all pretend. But facts will be hide. Get ready for a smackdown. Get ready for a smackdown. They'll lie while the earth spins around. Watch out for smackdown. They cling to ancient misconceptions. We've got truth in our possession. No room for doubt, no time to waste. It's time to put Flat Earth in its place. Here comes the smackdown.
Welcome everybody to Tuesday Night. I'm your host, MC Toon. I hope you're enjoying yourselves tonight. I think this will be quite enjoyable. Last week, I reviewed a standalone video that Lindsay Harris had recorded. Now, and if you don't know who Lindsay Harris is, well, first of all, there are some people in this day and age that think that the Earth is a giant pizza pie. They think that it's made of water and dirt, so it's kind of mud. So it's a mud pie. They think it's this big old flat, mushy mud pie. And that around the outside is Antarctica. And there's an experiment. Some flat earthers have been invited to do an experiment down in Antarctica, or across in Antarctica, as they may think. And they've been scrambling like crazy. It's been fantastic. The experiment is that one normal person and one flat earther will get their ticket paid for to go to Antarctica to see what the sun does. Because according to Flat Earth, the sun in Antarctica has to do circles here, right? So if you're in Antarctica and you're looking to the sun, it's got to be doing circles like ellipses in front of you. It can never set, but they think it's set somehow, but it certainly can never go around behind you. If you're looking north, it could never be south. Well, that's the experiment. But flat earthers have been scrambling to find excuses, to find ways to explain away the observation that they are quite certain will happen. They would not be scrambling if they were certain that the observation would match flat earth. They are scrambling because they know that the observation will not match flat earth. So Lindsay Harris is one such person. He's a builder, a construction guy from New Zealand. And he's very confused about things. And I'm going to start by showing you something, because one of the most important parts of his entire demonstration is the claim that magnets bend light. Well, this is a magnet from a hard drive. It's a very strong magnet. And if you look, you will see it's out of focus, I know, but it's not bending the light. The light isn't getting all warped around it. Even though this is a very strong magnet, light does not warp around it. You can test this yourself. If light bent in the presence of a strong magnetic field, then any strong magnet would cause that to happen. So I have invited him to join. I have sent him a Zoom link. He has stated that he will not be joining. If you go look at his Facebook, Lindsay Harris, LANDSAYHARRIS. Link is in the description to a post he did a little bit ago where I invited him to join. He said he won't because he didn't want to provide entertainment. Well, either way, he's providing entertainment. But think about this, Lindsay. If you had any evidence for your position, this would be your opportunity to embarrass me. I think you know that the other thing would happen, right? Well, yes, the casual anti-Semitism is always a nearly ever-present thing in flat earthers. It's quite sick, but anyway, that's not the topic of this one. I haven't seen that be a thing from him as much as some others, but I don't know, maybe there. So last week I reviewed a standalone video that he had recorded himself. This week I'm reviewing a time when he, just last Thursday, was on Jeran from Jeranism's channel, and we're going to be reviewing that presentation that he gave. Now, earlier, I think a week prior, or maybe 2 weeks prior, he had been on Jeran's as well, but had so much technical problems, it was terrible. So this one is much better. So, yeah, they're past the ability for embarrassment. That's what's, I think it's very telling. It's very telling, Lindsay, that you thought that you knew that when you came on here, you would only be providing entertainment. You would not be providing evidence. You know that you would not be providing evidence. That's why you don't want to do it. Okay. I have a few screenshots I might mingle in as we go from that I've gotten from him. He no, you know what? I'm going to start with, oh, where'd it go? There it is. I'm going to start with some of his things. So I think it's important to let's see here. So, oh, that's not, I have to change the scene a little bit. There it is. This will work. So he posted this on Facebook on July 10. A $10,000 challenge he posted on Facebook. So the premise of magnetism is an infield and outfield. Sounds like baseball. A dip compass will dip at both ends of this earth. That is correct. At one end, the north tip of the dip compass will dip, and at the other, near the other magnetic pole, the other end of the dip compass will dip. Now he is of the opinion, the greatly incorrect opinion, that a compass only has one side. But of course it has two sides. It has a red side and a white side. You can see, look at that. You can see my the reflection there. It has a red side and a white side. And for some reason, so many flat earthers they can't even see the white side. So he's one of them. He actually has said that if you take a compass in an airplane and fly from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, that the compass will spin as you get near the equator. He doesn't understand that a compass needle is actually a magnet and that it has two ends to it. He thinks that the red end is metal and that the other end must not be metal, and that the red end is therefore then attracted to the north magnetic pole, or also the south magnetic pole, wherever he thinks that is. But in reality, it's a magnet. So if you were to take a dip compass, then when you're a dip compass, this is a regular compass, right? You hold a horizontal dip compass, you hold vertical there, and then this one won't quite do it because it's weighted, but it'll do it a little bit. You can see it's got a little bit of an angle. You align it north-south with the magnetic field, and then it'll tip, and the red end will point down. This isn't correct because this isn't designed for it. But in the southern hemisphere, the white end will dip down. So yes, Lindsay, that is correct. A dip compass dips at both ends, but it's the opposite end of the needle. That means the Earth's magnetic field rises at both Arctics. Now, he doesn't understand that the Antarctic is, we don't call it, I don't know, whatever. He calls it an Arctic. The Antarctic and the Arctic 100%, but the dip compass, see, he doesn't know where the south magnetic pole is. But the dip compass will point up at the tropics. No, it won't. It's horizontal. where the field drops straight down into the earth no, it doesn't. Oh my gosh, to cross the equator in 120 degree, 180 degree avoidance of the opposing field to then flow to the opposite end of the earth, seeking out its equilibrium, strong and weak forces. Now, he doesn't know anything about the strong and weak forces. These are strong nuclear force. He calls he calls the north strong force, I think, and the south the weak force. He doesn't know. He's just taking terms. He doesn't know what he means and applying them where they don't have any application. This means that both the Arctics are north, while the two tropical zones, Cancer and Capricorn, are the south poles of our Earth. Silly. All right, this is the challenge. Your lying American Jesuit Zionist pigs called scientists. Now, just so you know, there are non-American scientists. There are probably not a lot of Jesuits that are also Zionists, being that Jesuits are Catholic and Zionists are Jewish. I don't think he really quite understands this topic. Maybe his mommy could explain it to him. Have you all been fooled into believing the line of a spinning ball Earth that has an outfield in the Antarctic and an infield in the Arctic? No, we don't believe that. There's no infield outfield. This isn't baseball, buddy. Anyway, this is a worldwide challenge. Does the dip compass dip at both Arctics or just the north? It does dip at both. Prove me wrong. You're right in that it dips at both ends. You get $10,000. If you take up the challenge and lose, you give me $10,000. Well, so here's the mistake that he's made here, of course, is he thinks that a dip compass will dip the same end will dip north as south. So this challenge is ambiguous. So anyway, so I posted as such that his challenge is ambiguous. And so then he pointed this out. This is his new challenge from 3 days later. Again, he is incoherent in every way possible. He cannot construct a sentence to save his life. He cannot put together a thought to save his life. This poor guy has so many delusions, and I don't know if it's drugs or being hit in the head or psychotic, something, a traumatic event that happened in his life. I don't know what it is, but for some reason he cannot put together a coherent thought. Anyway, so again, he says, look at everybody. While the globe theory believing community spends a lot of time abusing flat earthers. So he's accusing us of abusing flat earthers. Take note of that. It'll come around to bite him in a minute. But have no time to answer a straightforward question that destroys all their globe BS. Look around, everybody. They are in panic mode. No, we're in laugh mode. Just one simple question to ask all those pundits of the globe theory. Why does the dip compass dip at both Arctics? The reason why? Well, actually, the dip compass doesn't really totally dip at this over Antarctica because the south magnetic pole is in the ocean between Antarctica and Australia. He doesn't even know where that is. The question should be headlining in every MSN outlets and all academia of science. No, it shouldn't. But not a word, because they're all controlled by the same lying, two-faced Nazi Zionist Freemason pigs. So now it's not Jesuit Zionists. It's I don't know how they could be. Again, it's a bit of a contradiction there, because Zionists are Jewish, and that other group there is against. You see, he's a bit incoherent. Also, they're not. I don't know why he thinks that they're all Freemasons. They're not. Anyway, all you F-ears are vindicated now, so stand up and start dishing out the humble pie. If you want to rub it in some more, re-educate their sorry little asses. Now, remember, the very first thing he said was that the global theory believing community spends a lot of time abusing flat earthers. And so pay attention. If you want to rub it in some more, re-educate their sorry little asses, tell them both Arctics are North Poles. No, they're not. And the South Poles are either side of the tropics. No, they're not. But I'll put $10,000 on that for sure. He's calling them morons. That will really burst their little brains of jelly meat. Again, he's complaining, the first sentence, about abuse. I have $10,000 bet for anyone who wishes to challenge this and prove me wrong. I will definitely gladly prove you wrong on that one there. Lindsay, you're going to need to put the money in escrow. And of course, I will probably have to take an airline flight from North America to South America, I suppose, and get video of a dip compass during the flight. I suppose that would do it. So anyway, so Lindsay, let's. I don't know what your acceptance criteria is. I already have my money in escrow, so I'll be glad to write it up. That flight, assuming the flight can be done for less than 10,000 to go there and back. So anyway, that's one of the other things that flat earthers like to do in their challenges is sometimes they make their challenges such that the monetary portion would be less than what it would cost to actually execute the challenge. So I think I don't know. I think it probably could happen, but yeah, I'd love to do that. Lindsay, get your money in escrow and let's write it up. Okay. You need to have clear, objectively measurable acceptance criteria. So would you accept a video of a flight of during a dip compass, to see that it's not, you're claiming that it's going to go, I don't know, the south end's going to go vertical when we get over the tropics or something. It's unclear from your post here. Anyway, P.S. Understand the difference between the strong and weak forces in physics. I would not call myself an expert in them, but I know that you know absolutely nothing about them. Lindsay doesn't know what either of them are. He thinks they're both magnetism. Globetarts, again, remember, his first sentence is he's complaining about globers abusing flat earthers. The irony. Don't like me being right. Well, you haven't been right yet, so we're not worried. So they insult me. Lindsay, you earned it. I gotta get some of this. Woo. There we go. All right, 10,000. I hear crickets. Where's that real bright boy tune gone? Well, I'm right here, buddy. But your challenge is very ambiguous. But yeah, I will definitely, I'll definitely accept. Should you be able to, put together a coherent sentence? So, who is this guy here? We've got a Don Giovanni. Yeah, all right. He's not. We don't need him. Let me. There we go. Okay. He can go away. Anyway. So yeah, certainly that's it. I'll definitely follow that up with something there, Lindsay Boo. So, okay, here we go. This is Jeran's, you can see right beneath me here is Jeran's live chat. I rearranged the screen a little bit so we can see his live chat and Lindsay's, whiteboard of derp. So there we go. We're going to get going. It's at, playing at 1.25 speed. And, here we go. Let me get the audio.
Well, first, it doesn't sound the shape of it, but we can look down on the Earth. So it's obviously round, we all know that, but you've got to understand the two hemispheres.
Okay, is that doubled? Is that audio doubled? I think it is. So now.
And how it's a toroidal field, so it expands out from the center, gets larger as we move in latitude. But the thing is, people have to realize nothing's actually physical. Everything expands as we go south. The human body, the aeroplane, anything. Because nothing is actually physical in this realm. It's of the light. It's all a conscious state anyway. But everything expands as you fly south. Okay? So
is that line?
So he says everything expands as you fly south. That's just a claim, right?
And there, just so people kind of get it, is that line there the equator? The middle line?
This big gap is a tropical gap.
Okay.
And
he's a little out of the scale. I think he's trying to get it to scale, but I don't think it's to scale.
And so if you take your arcs of longitude The distance between each arcs of longitude travelled is the same time. So even though you see on the Gleason map that's coming out, expanding outward, you can revert back to the Mercator map, who has everything parallel, because time over distance travelled is the same. That's what people can't grasp. So they're always talking about airplane flights in the south, blah, 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 as opposed to the north, blah, blah. But it's all equal between the arcs of longitude. If you stick to the one latitude, if you're flying around the one latitude, it's the same. If
you're flying around the one latitude, it's the same.
So if you flew 40 degrees south on one latitude and flew 60 degrees latitude within the same arc of longitude, it's the same time.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
So on
that makes no sense. 40 and 60 are the same? That doesn't. How does he get that? Oh my gosh. I don't quite. It's hard to follow. All right, let's hear it, Jeran. Jeran's trying too.
on the globe, they would say that as you're closer to the North Pole, those distance between the longitudes are smaller, and then they get to the largest of the equator. You're saying it's the same thing on your model? Does that same thing, but then goes reverse to the south?
Yeah, it's just the way they word things.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you can say we're all expanding with it, or we're all shrinking with it. So
okay,
but that's the guts of it. So one big question I've had is, how does the sun work? So people need to understand the sun for a starter. So in this tropical gap here, it's the dielectric zone between the two magnetic fields of the north and the south.
He's just making up terms here. I love it.
So we have let's back up a bit. What you've got to realize is that the Arctics are the same. They're both North Poles. And this is where we can catch them out, because I've put up this challenge. If anybody can prove to me that the dip compass does not dip at the Arctic and the Antarctic, they'll get 10,000. If they do the experiment with me, challenge me, they'll have to pay me 10 grand when they find out it dips at both Arctics.
Here's the interesting thing. The trip that Will Duffy is paying for is $31,000. So you have an upside of $10,000. Right? I don't quite know what he would accept, because the South Magnetic Pole isn't even in Antarctica.
You're saying the same side of the needle dips at both Arctics?
Yes, if you took a northern hemisphere compass and took to the south, it would dip at the Antarctic as well as the Arctic. The South Pole is either side of the tropics. So understanding capacitance, you have your two positive plates, and
two positive plates now in capacitance. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to look up in here where a capacitor has two positive plates. I'll get back to you on that one.
Electromagnetism build up on the capacitor plates, which is either side of the tropics. They're both south poles. They're both opposing each other. That's where all the energy is being created between the two capacitor plates, the two tropical zones.
Yeah, he doesn't understand the difference between magnetism and voltage.
So you've got the magnetic field coming around from the south and the magnetic field coming out of the north, meeting where the sun is. Hang that one up. Not going to hang up, sorry. Can you hang that up? Oh, never mind.
No, it's okay.
So realise all around here is the North Pole. Right in the centre is the North Pole. All around Cancer and Capricorn are South Poles. That's where your dip compass will actually point up.
Okay, so there's a clear claim. A dip compass will point up over the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. That's his claim. All right. That can be tested.
And the science knows that the magnetic field of Earth is weak at the equator, strongest at the poles. They won't tell you that the dip compass dips at both poles. And you get online, they'll only mention one and then divert you away.
No, it's well known that the dip compass dips at both poles. Just opposite ends of it.
So you don't carry on. This is one of the earliest things I discovered in my flat earth research. Is I knew those two Arctics were the same, yet I couldn't go online and find. I asked the right question. They wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't give me a specific answer that the dip compass dipped there and there. It took years. I finally found it, but I think it was a Chinese site.
Okay, so trying to make sure I'm getting this. So you're saying if we take a compass, we go to the North Pole, let's say it's the red needle, which is pointing to the north, and it's going to dip at the North Pole. And then as we walk towards the tropics, you're saying at the tropics, the other end of the needle would dip at the tropics.
You take compass. No, the same north end. You've dipped at the Arctic. You take it to the tropics, it'll point up.
Right.
Because points down to where the magnetic field is coming from, and then it'll point up at the tropics where the field is coming down. Because the magnetic field of both hemispheres drops down at each tropical zone, Cancer and Capricorn, to pass down through the Earth and go along the Earth, then pop up at the opposite Arctics.
So do you think that he would accept going to the actual Tropic of Cancer and bringing a dip compass with to see what it'll do? Right? What do you think of that?
There's 120 degrees avoidance.
Okay, we got somebody a couple things in the chat. First, Joan just wanted to point out she wants you to describe the model simply first, but we'll get back to that. Then we've got Truth Lab wants to know, how do you know this? Where did you learn this? How many hours have you invested in this field? But I guess what
he's just making it up.
Asking is, how do you say you found this out when you started looking into flat Earth? So how did you find out about the compass?
It was just common sense when you look at the makeup of the Arctics, both Arctics, and you understand a little bit of
it's just common sense.
physics, like a weak force, strong force.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Antarctic and the Arctic, what's the difference? It's only one's weaker than the other. It's the same thing. And maybe I just came across the fact that somewhere it did say the compass dipped at both poles. I can't remember now, but I tried finding it for years, and you can't find it if you look hard enough. But they hide that because they know that the premise of a magnetic cycle or a magnetic field is an infield and an outfield.
It's no different than Ken Wheeler and Whitsitt talking about magnetic or centrifugal divergence and centripetal convergence. It's just making up stuff about magnetism. That's not how it works.
So you take a ring magnet, you've got the infield and you've got the other side coming out. So it, one's north, one.
He's looking at the arrows. The arrows on magnetic fields are just convention. There's no actual movement.
South, so they know that. So they put that on their spinning ball, telling you it comes out of the south and goes into the north. When all along they're lying. They come out of both Arctics and head towards they shoot towards the tropical zones, and you can even see it in the meteorology and the in the field. The winds go to the tropics like this, the sides of the tropics, and then veer off to the west. So it works just like two magnets like this.
This is interesting here. Joan Margaret says, this is so frustrating because I know his model, but he's not laying it out in a way new people can catch on to. No, he doesn't have a model. He's just nuts. But Joe Whip, no, Joe Whip. Joe says, Jeran is desperate to have this clown on. He will do anything to justify the 24-hour sun on a flat Earth. That's not why Jeran brought him on. Jeran brought him on because a bunch of people like this Joan Margaret were messaging him saying, you need to bring Lindsay on. He explains it. And Jeran's like, okay, I will be open to it. But Jeran, I'm not going to give any spoilers. Joe Whip, that's not what's happening. I'll just tell you that.
So the two south poles will not touch. So they come up over the Earth. They can't meet. So they shoot straight down to the Earth to race over to their opposing fields because they're forever seeking equilibrium because of the weak force and strong force. Center North Arctic is the strong force. The Antarctic all around there is the weak force that's widely distributed. So in nature, everything wants to seek a resting state. It's just like all the gaseous layers of the atmosphere. You release it. This is why we have hydrogen balloons, don't we? Because they go up the furthest.
The furthest. I love that.
Yeah, things like that. But anyway, that's the guts of it. So,
well, that's a good one because that can be tested. I love things that we can test because there's one.
Yeah.
You're saying it would dip the same north and south. So that's very easy to determine. Okay.
And it's even online. You just go and ask the right questions. I think I read it out last time I was on.
Kyle Gray says, only one question at a time. Explain the model simply. And thank you, Clip
Well,
Rose.
it depends on what they want me to describe it. So,
Well, I guess let's say that you have a class of third graders here. And first time we've heard this, we're just, we basically don't know what we're.
Whoa, pump the brakes there, Jeran. Your audience, third graders, come on. You're way overestimating them. You're going to have to go kindergarten for just the bright ones. Okay? And, the normal kind of middle of the road distribution of the audience is going to be, somewhere around 3-year-old. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, okay. Let them feel smart. Give them all a trophy.
We're talking about. So I guess, can you describe it for 5 or 10 minutes like we're third graders?
oh, okay, I'll try to. It's a toroidal field. Everyone knows what a toroidal field is?
Okay, that's a good start.
Let's say we're inside that on the horizontal plane,
Mm-hmm.
but we can do away with the bottom part of the toroidal field because that's the basis of creation. Those are the two forces of nature coming together and bang, creating this inertial plane. When they came bang and found equilibrium. Because in our physical world, nothing actually, things find rest, but rest is the black hole. So all life is created through the friction of not finding rest. So that's where a flat plane of Earth comes from. The two forces of nature came together, bang, created rest. And that's why the flat plane of Earth is fixed and stationary, as the good book says.
So you're talking about this as a toroidal field just so people can see, right? Is that correct? Is this a toroidal
similar.
field? And then you're saying
Yeah.
that there's the block domain wall that's here, and then that's the plane of inertia where we live?
Yeah,
Okay.
straight to the middle.
Just so you know, there's no such thing as a plane of inertia. That's a Ken Wheeler invented term.
Okay.
That's the initial creation of the flat plane of Earth. The two fields coming together, boom. And now we are living in the friction, so we're on top of the plane now. So we break it down like a magnet. So we just concentrate on the top half now, and you come up with the magnetic flux, which is on my other screen.
Again, another term he doesn't know what it means.
So you can probably keep the top of the toroidal field, but there's a split, and this world's it's become a split cell. So it's split by the tropical zone. Whether I need the other screen or not, I'm not sure. So you've got okay, let's go back a bit. So we go back to that initial point where the two fields came together to create the plane. And right there is center Arctic, right? Above the plane is center Arctic. And that's where the vortex of creation is that creates our realm.
The vortex of creation that creates our realm. How does he know that? He just does.
So, and it creates this inverted realm that we're all in. Ken Wheeler explains this quite well.
Okay.
But anyway, it becomes a dual system.
Yeah, of course, Ken Wheeler.
You have the field come out of the Arctic to the Tropic of Cancer. The field goes along the ground, then up at the Antarctica, comes back over to the Tropic of Capricorn, down to the ground, and crosses over again. That's the infinity symbol you've seen. Been around for thousands of years, if not millions. The magnetic field's doing this. It's also doing it on a curved linear type across the plane in the shape of a plowshare. So that's our toroidal wave. That's the ether. They call it dark energy, black energy,
just
because
make
they know
it all up.
came out of the black hole. Right? All that energy comes out of that center Arctic black hole. And it's
Center
further coming
Arctic
out.
black hole.
And so that's the magnetic field. So in the beginning, in the Bible, it mentions that the sun was created, the first sun. That's the initial one, the one in the center.
The
And then
first
later
one.
on, the sun and the sun and the moon and all that came later because back at that center of creation, the vortex. Well, we haven't got the vortex yet. We've got the plane. We've got a plane. It's flipping hard to explain. That's why I do so many videos. The center of the toroidal field is a vortex.
It's just fiction, and it's not even well-written fiction.
But it started with the flat plane. The flat plane with the sun in the center. That was instantly, when that was created through the friction and the sound, the right frequency that this whirlwind created, it hit the
Wait, sound and frequency now that the whirlwind created?
right note and illuminated the sun, the star. And that sets off the whole 3D depth below it, which is a negative image. I put something on a post recently. The science just mentioned it in their physics. how there's a positive field up there and there's this negative force going on, and it's slower. And that's basically what it is. So you got the 2D plane where the actual sun is doing a small circle around the black hole. And as it's doing that small circle, it's the moon is doing this S curve.
So there's a black hole at the North Pole of the Earth. There's a black hole?
Yeah. But it's not like they describe it. You've got to just forget all that bullshit.
I'm forgetting all about that, but is it a physical thing that we would be able to see if we went there?
No, you can't get into that vortex.
Okay.
It's like trying to get back in their mother's womb. We've come out of creation. You can't get back in.
Why?
But we're not totally detached, because we've got the Milky Way that comes from our realm back over into creation.
Oh my gosh, the Milky Way.
And this is the whole story, the meaning to life. We're not attached from creation. We have to go back, find our way back.
How?
And you have a lot of people go through near-death experiences and see the light and go towards the light. Well, they're going through the Milky Way. They're going through the tunnel. That's the Milky Way. So I've drawn it if they see it. You've got the real sun.
So crazy.
And the Milky Way comes over to the center of the tropics.
Now, by the way, he's a big fan of Santos Bonacci as well. So there's that. Jeez. Like the lotus flower of Egypt. Aurora Borealis action. A lot of claims enter the pseudo. This guy is Nutter Butter. Oh, that's Ruhif. Yep. He's total. Jeez. So crazy.
And that's where we see the image of our sun. But there's more to that. And right there, between the two, Capricorn and Cancer, are the capacitor plates creating the energy, because are moving the current.
Current? What current?
Creates the changing magnetic field.
But current? But what? Yes, moving electricity causes a magnetic field. But what is moving? Where is the conductor? Where is the electricity flowing to and from? This just came out of nowhere. He hadn't talked about that before, and now here we have current causing this magnetism.
The magnetic field comes from the south, out of the north, and they change and cross over. The changing magnetic field creates the sun, and the sun creates...
Wait, the changing magnetic field creates the sun?
It's the changing magnetic field. It's in physics, so if you look into it, you'll understand it.
I've looked into enough physics. You're not talking physics.
So the sun is only created as it moves around. And as it's moving around, the magnetic field is coming in and creating the capacitance between the tropics, illuminating the sun.
He's just throwing out words.
And because the sun, the image of the sun. But the true sun is on the knee joint of the Milky Way as it pops into the center Arctic. And it's aiming out across the hole, like that up there. You see that? Oh, yeah. There's the black hole. There's the sun. Milky Way's over here, coming over to where we see the sun.
Oh my God.
But the real unseen plasma sun is created back.
Look at Jeran. Jeran's like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? Just watch Jeran's face.
There. And this magnetic induction through capacitance here is feeding through the Milky Way, feeds the energy, sucks it up like a vacuum, sucks it over into the real sun, feeding the real sun, which then sends back an image for us to see.
All right, let's see if we can get subtitles.
It's like TV or radio, picking up your radio waves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do you get that? Because otherwise...
I mean, it's a little bit too much, but so just want to make sure I understand. You're saying that the sun, which is in the center doing a small circle, then projects itself out variably throughout the year. Sometimes the people in the south would see it above their heads. Sometimes the people...
No, we haven't got to that yet.
Okay, go ahead.
But just understanding how they create the sun, how the sun is created. It's through cold fusion. They're doing the same sort of thing.
Oh my gosh, it's moving current. That creates it. He also said that the sun moves and creates it, and now it's cold fusion. Oh my gosh.
And with the nuclear fusion, but they're smashing things together instead of expanding that water molecule.
Water molecules.
So this cold fusion is being created through electromagnetic induction between the two fields as they shoot down towards the Earth. You know, look up in physics, the two parallel magnetic fields, they're going down, and up through the center is coming the hydrogen molecule. It's getting shredded, and that water.
What, the hydrogen molecule is getting shredded? The magnetic fields go down and the hydrogen molecule gets up and gets shredded. Oh my gosh.
Is illuminating, sort of highlighting the sun that we see in the center there. But it's electrical, it's the current being created between the two capacitor plates. And that energy being created in the tropics is getting fed through the Milky Way to feed the actual real plasma sun. So all the images of the sun out here are all thanks to the real plasma sun back at the center. Because the sun at the center follows the flexing of the ecliptic plane, and it flexes down. It's round.
The flexing of the...
Sitting at the top of the vortex, it's round, and it flexes like up and down like this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Kyle Gray says, can he give any reason for us to believe this? Anything at all? God told him, he went and observed the black hole himself. Right, Jeran's audience is at least asking the right questions here. I'm gonna give credit where it, right? But here we got this William McLean says everything is projected from the black hole. No, it's not. Why would you think that? Why would you make such a claim? Joshua Bell says, go back to that guy, Brian Austin Lambert. The EMPCO guy he's basically explaining that model. Seriously, there's somebody else that says this? Oh. Yeah, Kyle Gray says, don't say you know what he means when he seeks agreement. Very true. I'm glad the chat from his is on here.
As the ecliptic plane flexes, the sun will be seen on that flexing. It says flex down and out. That's just southern hemisphere summer. As it's slowly coming back up, the sun's going around every day, but this is slowly coming up. The sun is winding back up to the middle. It winds back out to the south, winds back up to the middle.
So why do you think it is when we have somebody like a Crow 777 or somebody else who has a hydrogen alpha telescope, when they're looking at the sun, what is it that they're seeing?
They're seeing an image in the electromagnetic spectrum, the light spectrum, is an image. It's a focal point, because
it's not a focal point.
That's the focal point of the energy right at the end of the Milky Way.
Okay.
So if you could blank out the light, you'll see, if you could, you can't, I don't think, you'll see the Milky Way coming over to the sun. But we can't, just can't. So it's just a projection of the actual sun back in creation, sending the image back, just like we get an image on our TV. Watching TV in your lounge, it's nothing in behind the TV, as it's coming from over there, out there somewhere.
I love this. Truth Lab, so you know he doesn't like truth, says, just got off a call. What's his background? His background, to my understanding, is that he's a carpenter. He has no background in this topic at all.
They send it back. Same thing. So we've sent this image. And like it says in the book, all the celestial bodies are there for signs.
So like this picture here is what a hydrogen alpha shows us is the sun. So you're saying this is just some sort of a
focal point,
projected image of the plasma sun. Is that right?
Well, I don't know if they've dodged up that photo or what. I mean, it's the sun we see is just pure white light. I don't know where they get those stupid images from.
Yeah.
Yeah. There. That's how stupid he is. Right? This is a real photo. And Crow 777 took this with Crow 777's a flatty, but at least, can use a telescope well enough to get this picture. And Lindsay is just denying that it's real. That's it. That's how desperate and stupid he is.
They use a hydrogen alpha telescope, and I don't know much about it other than, to look through a telescope and see this is pretty crazy. It kind of gives you an idea that this is more of something that's there.
That's fakery. I'm pretty sure of it.
Well, I mean, you'd have to call what the work that Crow does, fake. I don't know if I'd go there, but I do agree that I was shocked when I saw it as well.
He does his own photos, does he?
Yeah, he just got a new telescope, a hydrogen alpha
Yeah, well, it
telescope.
all depends on your filters, doesn't it? What you
Yeah, the
you know,
hydrogen
changing-
alpha is the filter, I guess. That's the type of telescope it is. But I'll look into that a little bit more to see if we can get to the bottom
Yeah.
of what they're seeing.
So it's about the wavelengths of light. It's filtering out different wavelengths. So, yep. Yeah. Wow.
Overall, everything adds up and it all makes sense if you can put all the pieces together. And a lot of the pieces are all in physics. You just take the pieces and draw the proper picture over here, not the little
There's
bullshit
no
one they
physics
put in their
here.
little square, and you've got to stay confined over there. And if you think outside that little box, you're the idiot. When they, it's out.
Yeah. He's calling other people idiots. But Lindsay, I need to make it really clear. You don't understand physics. You're the idiot. Let me read a couple things. We got Golden Knight is a new member at Newton. Thank you for that. PhD Tony says Lindsay is delusional and misanthropic. I suggest thoroughly wiping your shoes and moving on. Oh, I think this is quite entertaining and educational to see the desperations of the flat earthers. Now, as I've said, I don't want to spoil it. Jeran isn't going for the desperation move here. But there are certainly some in Jeran's live chat that are in with Lindsay completely. And Lindsay, of course, is totally nuts. So, Lord Illuminous Poosa says, a friend, been meaning to mention you might have some dyslexia. You read as badly as I sopil, with respect. Yep, your soppling is a little bit little trouble there. Lord Illuminous Pooh says, like, really, not making fun. Well, kind of, but as I have it, I see it in others. Don't cancel me. Are you seriously? I read good. I read good. Lord of Who again says, how do I send a part of me south to expand? I want longer fingers to play guitar, sickos. Pat the Chat does a member super chat that says, oh look, it's derp o'clock. It is. Kango44 from New Zealand, the same place that Lindsay hails from, says, sun works like plate and residue transport plate funneling with joust jams, Donnelly nut spacing grip grids, and splay flexed brace columns against beam fastened derrick husk nuts and girdle plates. Now, Lord Illuminous Pooh, you can. How well did I read that? Jiffy Jiffald says, Oedipus went back into his mother's womb. Okay, yes. Pat the Chat says, hey, I have some extra balsamic vinaigrette if anybody needs some. We're fresh out of blue cheese here, if anybody could pass the blue cheese. Melodic Lyrics is yum yum word salad. Oh, he just takes words. This is as word salady as they come. They're not even generally related to the topic, right? So he talks about cold fusion. The sun is cold fusion, even though it's hot. He tossed out inertial plane. He said infield and outfield, referring to magnetic fields. Jeran volunteered block domain wall, which he just parroted from Witsit. What else has he said? He's like, it's a north. The south magnetic pole is at the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Where did that come from? The moving current causes the sun. Yep, but where's this current moving to and from? He said that a capacitor has two positive plates and that they're both magnets instead of voltage, a difference in voltage, a sameness in voltage, apparently. I don't know. So much. I think he's got Witsit beat. I really do. But he's more of the insane version of it. Like he's really cranking that insane meter. Ernie Matthews says Lindsay is as sharp as a donut. Thanks, Ernie. Now I want a donut. Kango44 says, Jeran is such a clown, sitting through this nonsense but denying basic science facts for years. Yeah? I'm sorry I'm from the UK and we have a name for people like this. See you next Tuesdays. Yeah. I got a notification on my phone. Oh, okay. That just okay. MK Ultra has been a member for 38 months. Says he likes Santos. Nut jobs of a feather flurf together. He does. He really likes Santos. He posted on Facebook the other day that he and Santos are among like the only smart ones, he thinks. I'm like, well, Santos is evil. He's like, you just don't understand him. Like, I understand him very well. He's pure evil. If you could pile up evil into 4'3" tall pile, that would be Santos. M. Schindler 49 says there's no right words for this. Bat crap crazy is the closest I can get. Even Jeran's chat is like, where is he getting all this from? It would be nice if he could back any of this. Hey, Jeran's chat, it would be nice if any flat earther could back anything. It's interesting that you note that Lindsay is full of crap and needs to back his claims. You should note that all flat earthers need to back their claims. You should demand it. Steve6464 says, is it only me that every time Flirth says something about two suns, I think of the Police song, there must be an invisible sun? I don't remember that song. Sorry. All I know is the Synchronicity album, basically. That's all I know. Kango44 says, it's so stupid, it's offensive. It is. Yeah, I mean, this is the guy that, before the internet would be standing in the corner, pants around his ankles, singing Jimmy Crack Corn. Everybody'd look at him and say, yep, there's Lindsay. He's the town nutter. Toss him. Somebody run down to McDonald's and grab a burger and just chuck it at him, right? He needs to eat today. Jiffy Jiffwald says, the black hole sun comes to wash away the rain. Look. No Pearl Jam. Is that Pearl Jam? It's not Pearl Jam. Alice in Chains? Pearl Jam. Alice in Chains. I don't know. I don't like either. Don't like. All right, I'll have some of this. Thank you. Jiffy Jiffwald gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Jiffy. Lord Illuminous Boo says, did someone fuse Witsit and Cheese Hands? Yes. So Nigel, just so you know, Nigel Cheesy Hands, that video was from Lindsay's channel. That's how it got introduced into our culture here. And, yep, the Oops guy. Nigel Cheesy Hands is the Oops guy. iSolder74 says, fill the Mr. Fusion, Marty. Barry F says, flux capacitance is how Gandalf defeated the Balrog. Lord Illuminous Poo says, that notification, my feet pick. It's your turn. What? You got a feet pick, didn't you? It was donkey feet. Jiffy Jiffwald says, Soundgarden. It's Soundgarden. Okay, fine. They're all the same. All the grunge except for Nirvana, they all sound the same to me. It's this drony voice. It's the fastest note they play is a whole note on their guitar. Oh, am I angering all you grunge fans? I don't know if I can muster an apology for it. So I'll skip past that and hit play.
There, all the pieces are there.
So just so you know what it is, I just had to look it up. It's a H alpha, hydrogen alpha, is the red end of the visible solar spectrum, 656 nanometers. By using this specially made combination of a small telescope and interference filter, we're able to see and image the solar prominences, filaments, plagues, and occasionally flares on the sun that otherwise remain invisible. So just letting you know. Okay.
Well, you might be able to see the flares. It's all coming from the Milky Way, where the real sun is. And so you don't actually get heat from the sun. It's just where the sun is, where it moves around in the tropical gap, is where where the energy has been created.
I have to disagree. I was outside this weekend, and when you're in the sun, you're hot, and when you get in the shade, you're not so hot. How could I?
So, depending on where the sun is at your particular time of the day and where you are on Earth. So that's that, and then you've got to consider the magnetic flux of the Earth, how it pumps up and down in a vortex system, just like the human heart does. The human heart is.
And in fact, it doesn't. The magnetic field of the Earth is, for the most part, not changing very quickly.
It's a vortex. So if someone wants to know how the Earth pumps up and down, we'll go and ask someone who knows how the heart pumps up and down. Is there a switch on the wall? No. It's just this vortex system that just pumps. So they can look into that. I haven't gone too deep with that. But it all boils down to the central vortex of creation.
It's just... I get that he's insane. Lindsay, you're nuts. You're completely insane. What baffles me is that there are people in his life that watch his channel, in Jeran's chat down here now, visiting with Jeran's chat, that actually buy this crap. He just spouts this stuff and they just say, okay, I believe it. Why? There's no reason.
S curve that comes out of the vortex of creation creates the curving magnetic field. There's a 3D imaging of that online somewhere I just saw the other day. It spirals out like that and creates the toroidal field.
No.
The human heart is a vortex. How does the heart pump? How do the tides pump? It's all via this vortex system. So that's basically the Earth, isn't it? Inside the toroidal field, but it's a...
Anyway, the magnetic field that he's explaining would be measurable. You could measure that variation that he claims exists. It's not measured.
Split cell with a tropical gap split. And then you go back and check out, hey, who's this guy? Victor Berger, or what his name was.
Schauberger, yeah.
He's got the exact same model I've been using all along.
That's a butt.
He's got the magnetic field coming over, going down there, and rising up to the center.
Okay.
So that's it. So this is one side of the...
That interests me because I do think we're supposed to learn from nature, and Schauberger said that they've done the opposite of that. They've taken...
Schauberger. All right. Victor Schauberger. See, now I'm hungry for a burger. Victor Schauberger. All right, I got this here. Here's Victor Schauberger. Died in 58. I take it this is the correct one. I don't know. Films? Oh yeah. Sacred Living Geometry, Extraordinary Nature of Water. Yeah. Sounds like the kind of derp that Flurfs would go for. Tragendous Wasser. Wasser's water, right? Nature was my teacher. Oh. Yep, all right. Not a lot of detail on the guy here. He went to forestry school, where he passed the exam as a forester, and then he was a forest clerk. Makes sense that he would then go off and to say all sorts of nuttery. Yeah, good job. Good job, guys. Yep. All right. All right. And people are, yep, as I figured, people are taking umbrage with my my musical tastes. I don't like grunge. And all right, so which one Somebody asked, which one do I dislike more, Nirvana or somebody else? I don't mind Nirvana. I'm fine with Nirvana. I don't think Nirvana is the kind of, it's not like the other grunge. Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. I don't like them. Don't like them. But I'm okay with Nirvana. I'm okay. I mean, I'm not playing it often, but it's okay. All right. Let me catch up here. El Khwarizmi says, when did Tuesday night become Vogon Poetry Night? Yeah, this is definitely like Vogon Poetry. Lord Luminous Poo says, Alice Pearl sound in a garden with chains and jam. Yep. Kango44 says, for bigger member, you can order a Vortex pump system. I've blocked a couple million spams with selling the member expanding Vortex pump systems. Lord Luminous Poo says, ADHD, highway to, hey, look, a squirrel. And iSolder674 says, this is no longer word salad. This is the entire farm. It's his thing. That's what he does. All right. Oh, hold on. We got a troll in here. Really? Aw. I'll just let people see there. There we go. That's that FF. Yeah, thank you. Good job. You're such a good person. Christopher Fisher. Why does everybody hate you, Christopher? Think about that. And then why do you lash out when everybody hates you? Go think on that, Christopher. We got melodic lyrics says Lindsay needs a container with soft pillow walls. Yes. All right, wait a second. I'm not, all right. I missed something going on there with Christopher. Yeah. I don't know what you're doing, dude. Astrokate Safax says, so hear me out. Maybe Earth is just a globe, or maybe gestures wildly at Lindsay's insane ramblings. Yep. All right, Christopher, I don't know what you're doing here, dude. Maybe this isn't the place for you. All right. Oh, hold on. Deadpool 2028. This is howdy. Sorry I'm late. Busy lamenting Tenacious D canceling their Oz tour. Now that's something to lament. Yes. Mark Beiser says he called you a Creed and Nickelback fan. Look, if you're gonna, that's them's fighting words, especially Creed. The drony voice. Ugh. All right. Oh yeah, Monkey Cat Pat Pat says, don't forget he said the sun is a hermaphrodite.
Explosion technology, and that's what we do for everything, right? Moving an engine, moving anything is explosion, where he's saying everything is actually implosion.
Exactly. That's what we're doing with cold fusion. The hydrogen molecules being shredded and separating the isotopes and that. And then your helium gets fed back into Helios, the sun.
What? But that's not cold fusion. That's not fusion. Oh my gosh. It's so dumb. He has zero clue. He says the hydrogen atom is shredded into its isotopes. What do you mean shredded? How does it? A hydrogen atom is one proton, one electron. How is it shredded? You could shred it by removing the electron. Okay, then it's plasma. You could potentially shred it by separating the proton into its constituent quarks, but that they don't like to hang out alone, so they just go back together into a proton probably. What the hell is he talking about? How do you shred? And then it feeds it back into helium? What an idiot. What an absolute idiot.
There you have it there on each side of the Earth from the centre, because you have the Antarctica there. Just look into that.
Look, just look into that.
Then you've got to understand, is that enough on the Earth? I don't need more. I've got a cross-section over there if you want to. If I get the cross-section out.
Yeah, you might want to show it. Joan says, why aren't you just describing your model like you did so well with the new camcorder video? Nobody knows where anything is. I don't know if you heard me. I'll say it again when you get back.
Now, what was that again?
So Joan said, I think Joan's one of your patrons. She says, why aren't you just describing your model like you did so well with the new camcorder video? Nobody knows where anything is. That's what she, I don't know. That's what she says.
I don't know what they want to know. I mean, I've gone over so many things in the past, I'm not too sure. But if we put a slice through the round Earth, it looks like this. Okay. You've got the tropical gap.
So hopefully people know what he's talking about. So that's the toroidal field, but we cut it in half and we're looking from the side on. Go ahead.
Yeah. So all creation is hidden back here above the Arctic in this S-curve vortex. All the celestial bodies are in here, or no, the moon and stars are in here, but on the plane at the top are the planets and the sun. The sun is just off center.
I thought the sun was in the middle. Now it's off. Now it's off center at the top.
Of the black hole center. The black hole is right at the center, right at the top here, and then the sun is on its horizon, direct horizon, and goes around the black hole. So you draw the ecliptic plane, a round circle, black hole in the middle, there's the sun. The sun moves around the hole. But this ecliptic plane is like a wave. You drop a pebble in the middle of the lake, it comes out in a wave. And all the high points, the focal points, is the...
Dude, I'm liking this truth lab. There says, maybe he needs to write a book and work with somebody to write/illustrate a children's book. Good job, Truth Lab. I don't know who this Truth Lab is, but I'm suspicious he's got truth in his name.
The planets, 5 planets, 1 sun and 1 moon. That makes 7. Just to disregard the other flipping who they keep talking about. They're more mythological.
Just ignore them.
Mythological. So, and this is the ecliptic plane that flexes.
It flexes.
So the real sun back here moves up and down with the flex of the ecliptic plane. It'll flex down and out. You get the sun right out here, or way up back up in here. This is why we get this other shape here. Up and in, down and out. But it's understanding the dual system where it's split at the tropics. With the 2 magnets, split like this. North Pole, South Pole, South Pole.
So
they don't meet. All the energy has been created right here.
Where did this come from? This is obviously none of this is from, him doing research or from any experiment or any evidence. He's just pulling this out of his ass.
That's where we see the sun. Well, we're supposed to. It's how it works in physics. But every man sees his own sun within his arc of horizon.
That's not how it works in physics.
Let's take another big step.
No, I think people might grasp this. So what do you, I guess just describe real quick, what is an arc of horizon?
Man sees out there's a horizon. It's at what, 5K, isn't it?
Okay.
All around him.
Right.
So that must come over the top of him too. It's a dome.
Okay.
Everything is projected down into his
So it's
horizon.
what we call your dome of vision. Right.
Yeah, it's sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my explanation for why the sun doesn't reduce in angular size, is because it's always at the same distance from you on your
exactly.
dome of
all the celestial bodies.
Okay.
All right, that makes no sense. Jeran, that makes no sense. But My Mum Bakes Cakes says $5 to play my 1-minute video from Lindsay admitting that we have to use the globe for navigation. Here it is. Let me switch this here. All right, hold on. I gotta get it set up right. Okay, here we go.
Welcome. Sad day today, really, for myself and all flat earthers. It seems like I'm the only one who's taken the path and along the way discovered everything and come to a final conclusion that we as flat earthers have to concede that this model is what has to be used to depict our realm. Earth is not flat though, but for map purposes and whatever, the ball needs to be used as a model.
Norwegian blue, what's wrong with it?
I'll tell you what's wrong with it. It's dead, that's what's wrong with it.
No, it's resting, look.
That's great. Perfect. So thank you for that. My Mum Bakes Cakes. I'll pin that. Can I pin that? Oh, I can't pin your link. Send it again. My Mum Bakes Cakes, and I'll pin it. Okay. Lord Illuminous Pooh says he means hydrogen is an awesome skateboarder. It shreds. iSolder74 says, can we just talk about Dinobots instead? They sound smarter. Oh yeah. The Dinobots were smarter. So are the Packlids. The Packlids are smarter too. Oh, I'd love to see a competition between the Packlids and the Dinobots. Toads in my eyes says the sun is swole and great at guitar and skateboarding. That's also a hermaphrodite. Deadpool 2028 says Jeran's face is absolutely priceless. Just wow. Oh yeah, Jeran is not having any of this. Jeran is humoring him to get to the end. Melodic Lyrics says Blackboard Sun, won't you come and explain this foolishness? Blackboard Sun, won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come? Thank you. Now I have that song in my head. I'm gonna have to purge it with some what's it, word salad songs. Copper in Quarter. I see this here. Hold on. Let's see. Copper in Quarter. Right up here says just got to 1,000 subscribers. So during this stream here. So congratulations, Copper in Quarter. And he says, thank you for supporting me and helping me reach 1,000 subs during the last 2 years. Very appreciative, sir. You're welcome. I still need to finish what I started last summer. the gold that I was trying to extract from those circuit boards. It's still been just sitting there. I don't even remember where it's at. I don't even remember what I need to do with it. I'll have to look. I'll have to ask you. I need your help. Anyway.
Yeah. So we see. So everything's projected from in here. So this cycle of the moon over a month, it's going around every day, but over the month it's an S cycle. It's actually the sun. The sun does a circle, but when you start looking.
Okay. William McLean says it's going to be hard for him to make it all make sense in everyone's short attention span. Here is your choice now. Go learn the system from his channel. If you don't, you are choosing ignorance. No, he's just making this up. William, you are choosing to be easily fooled. It's all insane. It's so insane.
Looking into what the vortex does, if you go deep into physics, the moon is the negative of that sun, but in this vortex system. And the moon always comes back to the sun at the end of every month, or the beginning, goes right back into the face of the sun to show it is one and showing us the cycle of life. You wander away and come back. You wander away and come back. That's the meaning to life. We're born into the dual world. We're supposed to come back to singularity. So understand this dual system, where the actual poles are. It's where you make the energy. That energy gets fed back over to there.
He's so insane. There's
the sun's image and the Milky Way feeds over to the real sun right there. And that Milky Way moves around the flat Earth 15 degrees per hour. So if you follow that Milky Way, you'd be right. And a couple of nights ago, it was the perfect night to be filming the Milky Way because it showed the nice big curve. The curve in the sky.
The curve.
Like I'm in the south, it showed. See, these magnetic field lines they actually go right round like this. The cycle of the stars in the southern hemisphere.
They spin him round.
I saw the Milky Way.
Right round,
like
baby.
This nice big curve all the way around like this. But it comes from out of here during the day, and there's night balls. I catch it here.
What?
Coming around here. They're forever doing these circles. So you go back to the northern hemisphere, stars, whatever is in here is in there. And it's all projected out from the center. All the stars in that central vortex.
I can't believe that some of the people are supporting him. Lowry says, this is tough material. If you're new to this stuff, I think he has an idea on it, but this isn't material for newbies. No, this is not. You're not right there. It's completely made up garbage. Like, why? I mean, there are some people in here, I don't. Maybe they're Globers in there, but some people in here are saying this is BS. But there's too many of them that are not calling him out. I don't get it. I don't get it.
So wouldn't you see the sun go around you?
No, because you can't see 24-hour day. You can't see the sun 24 hours, can you?
No, I'm just talking about you drew that circle there, and you said that the sun goes around that circle.
Yeah, we see like east here, west here.
Mm-hmm.
That's your half day. You'd see the sun come over here like this. Okay. You don't see the sun on the night side.
Okay.
But as the season change, as the dual cell starts parting, the system starts moving back this way and reducing back this way. It starts coming back down in here. And it pops out. That's how you get the full sun all the way around the south and the southern hemisphere. And then you have to come back to this dual cell system, understanding the Earth, how it's a dual cell, separating. So you've got the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, and they come together and part. So you're still getting this reflected image out to the south, but you've got this comes right up and overlays right up to here, like this. That's the winter. The northern hemisphere northern hemisphere summer, southern hemisphere winter. And that southern field rotation comes right up. So you've got to imagine this dual cell system, which is what it is. And then when it starts coming out again, it almost completely separates, but it ends up looking like this.
What? Why?
December solstice.
What? This is so many crazy things. That's the December solstice. Why? Yeah, there's a couple people in the chat here like, yeah, but it's just it's so baffling that people would listen to him just say these things, and it's obviously all just made up out of nothing. Right? There's no backing to any of this. And they'll just sit there and say, wow, that's amazing. I'm totally in. Why? There's no reason.
Now, there's a balance. There's a point of balance. The sun's crossing and it's analemma. It's a divine period. It's what all religion's all about. There's that point there. And that's where the magnetic field's a bit. This is a 3-to-2 ratio, right?
No. Why?
It's a 3-to-2 ratio.
So Jaws is incarnate. I don't know. I think I've seen you in his chat. I'll keep watching for you. Where it's right down here. So, I think I've seen you in the chat there. I'll keep watching.
So when that comes in, there's a point where that magnetic force and that magnetic field are equally balanced. Balance of the magnetic field. And that's at the crossing of the analemma right there. It's not the equinox. That's just the halfway point between the two solstices.
Yeah, he said analemma.
But there's a perfect balance, and that's what life's all about, being perfectly balanced for spiritual enlightenment and all that sort of thing. The seasonal change, that's where seasoning came from, salt and pepper, because your season's changing, the human body is changing. That's why we have to bring salt into your diet mid-August. Prepare your body for the change in season just before spring. Mid-August for us southerners, anyway. So realize that magnetic balance. The fields are balanced, bang on. It's not the equinox. Back at the sun's crossing, the sun analemma. And all the religious stories are all about this magic here, at that balancing point. And that balancing point, you look up in the sky with the telescopes at night, all the celestial bodies are all sitting level. There's no, look at
sitting
Saturn,
level.
Jupiter, the images, they're all nice and level because everything's sitting flat on the plane of Earth.
What do you mean they're sitting level? That makes no sense.
Everything's sitting flat on the ecliptic plane. The plane hasn't tilted down and out or up and in. There's no flexing. It's dead flat. So there's man's arc of horizon. He's always standing in the middle, 90 degrees to his zenith. There's his arc. Everything's coming back to him, perpendicular off the arc. Understand this? The two south poles either side, north, 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 south, south. There's the cross section. You've seen these images on ancient buildings, these arcs. They were new back in the day. You have to look at the Prague clock. They've got exactly how the flat earth works. And it's a
No, they don't.
2D type model, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not.
So we'll look at here. There are two things to consider. Singularity is the place of creation. Everything is projected from. Creates our dual system. The projected created realm that is from that place of creation, now dual, which is the place that we all exist in, called Earth. And Earth is an enclosed self-generating system. There are two aspects to understand our realm. One, a physical aspect, and the other is the non-physical aspect. But at the end of the day, nothing.
Yeah. End the stream, Jeran, if you care about us. Ruhiv was in there. Said this dude is crazy. Right? He is. And Green Chili Bear says, behave, Ruhiv. Dude, Ruhiv's right. Oh my gosh. How does anybody not see that he's insane?
Is actually physical. If you can grasp this concept, you are halfway home. For example, we and everything else on Earth expand as we move from north to south. So-called south.
Wait, we and everything else expands. Oh my goodness. Is that what, like, he said that, but I thought earlier, but I thought maybe he just meant like the ground. But we expand? Is that really what he thinks? Like, as you move south, you actually physically get larger? That's nuts.
contract back to the north. For those who must conceive everything in a physical nature will never see the light, will never accept or understand the flat earth model and the nature of our realm. You might as well stay with Globe's theory. It is for the lower conscious state of man. Come back when you are ready. Till then, keep quiet. Get rid of this one.
Yeah, those are strong words for somebody that's clearly highly delusional and very much insane.
So, as this northern hemisphere star rotation turns, which is the top of the vortex or the vortex, it does a 360. This image here will turn all the way around and do a 360 back to where it started.
Why?
So because everything's projected from the center north, there's always an image out here.
Why?
And every man is on a meridian. He's on a line from north to south. So he'll get his nice circular star rotations if he knows how to film the stars, star trail or time lapse.
Okay, I want to. Yeah, Cece would eat this crap up. Where's this one about Cece's wife and his wife? Yeah, but somebody, I forgot who said it, but somebody said it would be great to be a fly on the wall to listen to his wife and Cece's wife have a conversation. That would be fantastic.
There'll always be a circle of stars, but they're not exactly the same like they keep going on about in science. That guy and that guy, his motion of these stars would have revolved that much more, moved around that little bit more. Because they're all drifting this way. And as they drift that way, this is turning. So you can do a star trail film at night and have another camera next to it doing a time lapse. So one will be filming the stars in this nice circle. They only turn about, I'm not even thinking it's 120 degrees, and they disappear. Because it's all to
120 degrees again. That wasn't a typo. He thinks that the opposite direction is 120 degrees.
do with this vortex back in creation age. But if you had it on time lapse, you could track one of these stars here and watch it drift all the way around here.
Right.
It's out here and it starts drifting in because it does a cardioid loop in behind you, the opposite side of the Earth, and comes back out
Cardioid
again.
loop.
But the middle point of rotation wouldn't be right above your heads, right? Or would it be?
No.
Okay.
It depends on the seasonal change too.
Right.
Because everything will start pushing out in the December solstice for the southern hemisphere, and they'll start coming back in. So it's just a shame you guys couldn't see the Milky Way the other night. It's just a perfect
It's just a
image of what I'm
shame.
trying to
Yeah.
explain here. Because the southern crux is in the Milky Way. And during the day, it's during the day, let's walk in this one, eh? The crux is here, and it's drifting all the way around here during the day. And then I see it at night here, pretty close to overhead, not really. And then as the night goes on, the crux ends up over here. And the crux of the pointers are always pointing to the center here, which is Sigma Octantis. That's how it works. And it's understanding this, the geometry of
That's just how it works.
our Earth, the 3-to-2 ratio of between the north and the south.
So why is it then, according to what you're saying, why would it be that we see the stars reflected in the south? Okay, we got that. Why do we see only one sun? Shouldn't we see the same thing as the north sees, right? The north sees the stars and then the south sees the mirrored stars. So why isn't it that the north sees the sun and then the south sees the mirrored sun? Because what you're basically saying is that the sun appears to the people in the south, but then the actual sun no longer appears to people in the north, right?
Oh, that's a good one, Jeran. So Lindsay is saying that the stars that you see in the south is a mirror image of the stars that you see in the north, which is totally bonkers. There's no parallel between them. There's no matchup. But okay, he says that, and his idiot followers, all four of them, take it on blind faith. Jeran says, okay, so if you are claiming that the stars are a mirror image of the north in the south, then why isn't the sun a mirror image of the sun in the south, in the north? But of course, Lindsay doesn't understand that the sun is not just pure white light. He said that it's just pure white light. He doesn't understand that you can actually see texture on the sun.
Not necessarily, no. All the way from there, all the way to center north, all the way to here, the sun was anywhere on those magnetic field lines.
But just
At that
one sun, right?
You only see one image. Your eyes only pick up one image
Okay.
within your arc of horizon.
Right. So now
It's
if
just the way it is.
now picture you're at the equator and you're looking north on your left and you're looking south on your right, but you can see the stars and the mirrored image of the stars.
Yeah, well, the equator's different because you're in that dielectric zone and you're just going to either look north or south. You can't see both. That'd be a bit weird.
Well, if you
But
looked if you looked east, you would see stars on your left and on your right. Like if you stand on the equator, look east, you would see stars on your left and right. But you're saying those are mirrored stars. So I'm just wondering if where's the best place for us to prove this? Would be at the equator, right? You would be best to prove that the north and the south are the same, inverted mirror.
You can be anywhere if you want to start looking at it. Like if you look at Rigel and Sirius, you go and draw Rigel and Sirius in the sky, whichever way you're looking at it, or Aldebaran and Betelgeuse.
Okay.
And then turn it over and look where it is.
Betelgeuse.
What you're seeing in the
Betelgeuse. Oh my gosh.
south, because the northern hemisphere stars at the top of your vortex, you're looking there, they come down and go like this. So now you're looking on the other side into the southern hemisphere. And that's when you start getting into the concave, understanding what quadrant means and all that.
Okay.
Well, it's definitely a mirrored image. The north into the south. That just comes down like this due to parabolic imaging.
Parabolic
so this is your southern
imaging.
hemisphere here, right? It's curved down. And then so the northern star rotation's up here. Because the magnetic flux of the Earth is curved in the C shape, it creates the parabolic image, which brings that image down here, inverted, back to the observer. It all comes off this curve. So you look up the word octantis. I can read all that to you if you like.
Yeah, I never even thought about what that word.
All right, let's remind you one more time. Here's a magnet. He's claiming that the C curve of the magnetic vortex something is causing the light to bend around it, but magnetism does not change the path of light.
Or I can look it up if you want me to.
Yeah, because it's a quadrant. It's a C. It's a 1/4 of the system here. It goes back to celestial navigation. You need to have your 4 cardinal directions, and the quad's the 4. But then it becomes the 8 because you need one in the northern hemisphere and one in the southern hemisphere. They're both different, aren't they? They're inverted.
Mm-hmm.
So I can read a bit of this to you.
If you want,
We'll go right back.
Here, look at this here. Flat Earth denier says the stars in the south are definitely unique in comparison to the north. I mean, to say they're mirrored is absolutely just wrong. Absolute horse hockey. And then here we have Mystery Singer says Flat Earth denier is in the wrong chat. Sheeple chat it that way. So are you saying, Mystery Singer, that Flat Earth denier is wrong in his assessment that the north and south stars are not mirror images of each other? Or are you, seriously, are you that ignorant or gullible or indoctrinated that you'll just accept that Lindsay made that claim and you just gobble it up? Is that really how you live your life? You just accept what he said and that's it. And then anybody that disagrees with it, somebody that might maybe have evidence for it, is a sheeple. The projection is through the roof here. Pure projection there. Mystery Singer.
Back to the beginning. Right?
So if you want, go ahead, whatever you want.
Yeah, okay. So basically for now, you forget the basics for now, like inertial plane or the firmament, which is based on pressure, not a solid structure, and go deep into understanding of magnetism. Because everything begins with magnetism. The atom is magnetism. It is atom. It is of male and female.
The atom is magnetism because it's male and female. Oh, super.
Which is the sun. And this is why the moon's come away, because they've taken the female entity out of Adam. That's the even split, the Eve story.
But the sun is a hermaphrodite. So is the sun a female or a male and the sun moon female? Or is it a hermaphrodite? You got to make up your mind here, buddy.
Give him a partner. South Pole, North Pole. It is an inert cellular part of a bigger picture, the dual cell system of the atom. Like the firmament is of 7 inert gases, with 7 inert gases within the 7. And they keep breaking down like that into 7s. So too is the atom. The atom is the magnet, male and female. Adam was split evenly, Adam and Eve's story, by taking the female out.
What?
Is taking or losing your Lilith, the female entity within man.
You're losing your Lilith. Oh, gosh.
See, as man's born into the physical world, he loses his Lilith. He has to find his way back to gain that singularity again, the meaning to life. His Lilith gets lost at man's physical birth that he must find in his physical world before he leaves.
It's just this is just like fan fiction.
Otherwise, he comes back again and again until he does. The physics of our Earth is also showing us this, whereby the southern hemisphere, the female weak force, retracts out of the northern hemisphere every year to combine every year, showing us the cycle or meaning to life. It's this separation and coming back in again.
Man, he's
like a
nuts.
conjoined cell.
He's so nuts.
The Earth's dual system does not fully detach. Imagine stretching separation before it pops out into the southern summer hemisphere, like splitting the atom.
Oh my gosh, Truth Lab. See, Truth Lab was doing okay, but now Truth Lab comes out with, I think the densest part of firmament is frozen oxygen. And now we know Truth Lab has truth in Truth Lab's name, therefore Truth Lab is not interested in truth. Oh my gosh.
What? And this is my take on an atomic bomb. But it's splitting the atom. Splitting is separating or repulsing the same poles, e.g., 2 of the same poles that are not magnetized yet facing each other, like I've shown you in the 2 magnets together, 2 south poles, facing each other, are blasted apart inside a pressurized vessel full of whatever explosives they want. Why do you think the bomb has to be detonated remotely before it hits the ground?
What?
There's that one.
Can you, somebody wants you to draw for them real quick, show where United States and Australia are on your map there? The one in the upper left?
Well, you're in the northern hemisphere, so you'd be way up here somewhere. Australia's down here.
Okay.
New Zealand's here. Oh, no, sorry, it's the tropics. You're way up here.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. The scale is so good.
First up, by understanding the firmament. It is based on pressure, differing gaseous states of matter. 7 inert gaseous layers that break down to 7 within the 7, and so on. Just like the Mandelbrot. This is how you must see all the aspects of flat Earth system. Systems within systems. One system is the 2 separate hemispheres. But in this system, there is a multitude of systems going on. Its magnetic field is expanding and contracting, although it is still a dual system. It is moving through different states as the 2 magnetic fields overall merge and retract. This is the overlay. The ancient Egyptians are showing us in Abydos, Seti 1, pyramid text, I think. Abydos is the overlay inside here, down.
All right, jeez, roll it. All right, Badger's Law. Yep, Badger's Law is what we're talking about. If they have truth, Badger's Law specifically is about. All right, hold on. I'm getting the. It's specifically about like a website's name, which isn't really what we're talking about here. Let me fix that so you see it a little better. Badger's Law states that the content of any website that contains the word truth in its name or URL contains anything but that. The law states websites with the word truth in the URL have none of in the posted content. And Simon Dan put that together specifically for the truthers, to expanded it a little bit, and called it the YouTube channel of Truth Paradox. But of course, it's bigger than YouTube. It's anybody that identifies themselves as a truther is not interested in the truth. So then I put together, this is years ago, I put together a list of YouTube channels and other sources of places that have truth in their name. Celebrate Truth, JM Truth, Zoom Truth, Truth Speaks, Adam's Truth Journey, Don't Sphere the Truth, Truth Seeker 42. I'm not going to read them all. I'll just put it here in the chat. You can read it yourself. I don't generally keep up on this. And I don't generally link to them because I don't want to give them any traffic. So there you go. So you got Twitter, of course, Discord, TikTok, True Earth, True Man. There you go. If you're listed and think you actually care about truth instead of lies, tweet me. I'll tweet back a test, giving you a chance to accept truth or stick with your lies. I haven't received any in years and years. There you go. So, Truth Lab. I think I'll have to add Truth Lab to the list. Just a second. Let me do it real quick while we're talking about it. There it is. Updating it. Hold on. The Truther Paradox. Let me grab it. It's Truth Lab with camel case. There you go. Truth Lab. Save. There you go. You can reload the page and you'll get it. You'll get the newly updated list. Wow, we're paused. Let's read this. Aaron Reese says, those Narnian scientists are going to be furious that he stole their research. Narnia is flat. It's at the end of Voyage of the Dawn Treader, I think. Or, no, the next one. Is it Prince Caspian? Anyway, yeah. The prince is amazed to find out that the earth is not flat and wants to go visit it just to see what it's like. Eddie Reese says, hey, it's Titicaca Tuesday. It is. Steve6464 says, is he explaining his mythology or explaining how the sun will act as the globe model predicts? Well, that is definitely the thing. All of when flat earthers get more into flat earth, they discover that all predictions and all observations match the globe. But they still stick to their religion of flat earth. So then they just waffle around and scramble looking for reasons to explain why the observations totally match a globe, don't match flat earth, and then try to, wrestle something together. For example, the angle to the sunset and the time of the sunset are accurately predicted using the globe and cannot be predicted at all using flat earth. What's going on? Why not just say, well, yeah, okay, check. That looks like it's a globe. What about eclipses? Well, eclipses cannot be predicted using flat earth, but they can be used using the globe. Well, check. Another point for the globe. What about the 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Oh, let's pretend that it doesn't exist. Well, come December, check. Going to work for the globe. What about gravity? The magnitude of the downward acceleration. They got nothing. Globe's got 9.8 meters per second squared using the law of gravitation. Check. You see this all the time. And of course, the 200 proofs from Eric Dubay is, you go through all of them. None of them actually contradict the globe. Every one of them matches the globe. Number 2 is Dubay claiming that the horizon always rises to eye level, but it does not. So when you go, you say, well, from 35,000 feet, what's the predicted globe drop? 3.3 to 3.5 degrees. And what's the flat Earth predicted drop? Depends on the direction you're looking, but it's less than 0.01 degrees. So how does it match? Oh, lots of word salad. Okay, lots of word salad, no backing evidence, or it matches the globe. Check. It, none of the, when they actually get into it, this is what's amazing. They get their religion. They become indoctrinated into the flat earth cult. And then they realize that all of the things that they thought were the case for why they believe that position, none of them match. None of them are the case. So that all of those things get washed away. Every one of them. Yet they still are in the flat earth cult. And then they get to the point where they're just like, well, I don't know. I just know it's not a globe. And that's all they have. Right? They become ignorant earthers, and you find them on Discord now. That's where they all hang out then, once they've gotten to the point where they're like, oh, there is no evidence for flat earth. Well, then what? They still believe it. Well, they just know that they better not make the claim, because if they make the claim, they're going to have to back their claim, and they know they can't back their claim. When they refuse to admit, that's just them telling us that they know that they don't have evidence. Oh, all right. RT96 says, to be a fly on the wall for a conversation between Lindsay's wife and Cece's wife. There's the one. Yes, that would be quite something. I missed a bunch of these. Okay, that's why. iSolder74 says, Jeran looks like he's ready to stick pencils in his nose and imitate Black Adder. I love Rowan. Kango64 says, be great if this guy turned out to be a troll. I don't think so. It'd be great, but I don't think so. He's nutso. He's totally nuts. Kango64 again says, is it my imagination, or did Jeran have more hair at the start of this? I know I did. iSolder74 says, there are no systems here. Move along. See what you did. I see what you did. Deadpool 2028 says, but Witsit said like 2 years ago that they have it all mapped out perfectly for flat earth and it works, but he's never shown it. Wait a minute. That was actually just in the spring. That was this year when he made that claim and challenged me to debate. Oh, but no, I didn't mean you debate me. I meant somebody else to debate. Well, who? Shane St. Pierre. Shane and I can communicate with each other directly like adults. Austin, you don't need to be in there proctoring this debate. You know you weren't. It's very clear from your challenge to me that you wanted me to debate you. But nope. Run. Icy Spin says, I think it would be appropriate to show the clip of Jeran berating flat earthers for those who may be behind on Jeran's recent internal struggle. I don't have that clip really queued up. I watched a little bit, but it was like 20 minutes. I watched a 20-minute clip of him. So just to be clear, Jeran does understand that a 24-hour sun circling around overhead is a problem for flat earth. Let me there you go. You get to see that. So he knows that this is I still haven't printed out replacements. So there we go. He knows that for an observer in let's see, is this a better map? No. Where are they going? They're going to right here. About right there. He knows that if he's standing there at 80 degrees south latitude and the sun circles around like this, right? It doesn't work because here's where it should be at noon. Kind of works for flat Earth, but the sun has to be over here at 12 hours later, right here, right? But if you look due south and you see the sun due south, that does not work. He knows that. And he knows at least well enough that to just make up nonsense about it is not a strong position. So he was berating other flat earthers in his live chats and calling them out. He called out Dubé. He was telling people in his own chat that they were just being dumb if they're trying to stick that Oh, I see Spin says he got a 1 minute. Okay. Sorry, I'm got some coughing here. All right, where? All right, I see. There it is. Okay. Oh, I gotta download it. Okay, hold on. I think my throat is clear. All right. Nope, that's not it. All right. Oh, crikey. It's on MOV. All right. You know what I got to do? I can't play a QuickTime movie file in I use Chrome. I use Chrome to play it, so I have to re-render it. Fortunately, I have Handbrake, and I can re-render it. There it is. All right. Let's get it up for you here. Is this it?
Guys, I'm looking at the chat. STVT303 says, Jeran logic now. Sky equals floor. You are a religitard. Get the fuck out of here. You can't use your head. I'm sorry. I didn't know that flat earthers were so dumb. This is something that's just been brought to my attention. Flat earthers are dumb. Anyone telling you that it doesn't matter is dumb. Now, you don't have to believe me. Go ahead and believe whatever you want. Believe who you want. I'm telling you the truth. They're lying to your face. If you are a truther, you'll choose the truth. You wouldn't choose the person lying to your face, would you? Well, religitards would.
Yep. That's strong. Credit where it's due. Jeran is on task there. So I don't know if this is him saying he's putting his foot down and saying, look, all right, if this happens, I'm out. It should be everybody that, is a truther. They never are. But everybody that is should say, yeah, okay, well, here's the prediction. Because for how many years have flat earthers been saying the same thing about Antarctica? Right? Was Lindsay saying this about about the sun a year ago? I don't know. I do know, I'll say this. Lindsay's idea is not unique to him. There is an actual dual Earth model. There's a guy that was on the Flat Earth Society forums. Something Rowe, R-O-W-E is his last name. And he claims it's two flat Earths. One that's I think my video just see that? Can you still hear me? Something about the video is something in front of my video. Yeah, the camera just died. Okay, so you still hear me. So I'm going to have to restart OBS. This has happened before. I don't know why. Maybe I can let me try this. I'm gonna try to change this. That's not it. Yeah, it's like this balloon in front of me, isn't it? That's interesting. So display window, video capture, legacy, video capture. All right. All right, let's see. There. Well, that isn't, oh, there it is. Why is that? All right, so I've got a new, there it is. Okay. It's, I don't know what it is. All right, we'll tell you what. I'm going to, this will stop for a second. Let's see here. And then I'll come right back because I'll just relaunch OBS. So, all right. All right. Do you hear me? Am I back? All right. Camera and live chat. Well, that doesn't look right. Oh, there it is. Okay. And live chat. So, can you hear me at least? Just audio. Yep. Okay. I got it. And there's that. All right. There it is. Oh, I'm not even centered. I'll recenter it. There we go. All right. So. All right. I'm back. I don't know why. I've seen that happen before. So, all right. Thank you for sticking around through that weird little glitch. Where was I? I don't know. Oh yeah, that little clip from Jeran is Where's Wally? Credit to Where's Wally on that one. So, all right, let's hear a little more of this. Oh my gosh,
it's the subduction where the southern field goes down underneath the south, and in that overlay, you get a lot more stars. I just did the star trail the other night. You get the odd star around here, right? Well, in here, the multitude because they've doubled up. The stars in the south. Hey?
Sorry, I coughed.
From the stars in the south and north are overlaying there. They come together to form the missing constellations that come around that time of the year. They're linking together to create a different picture. That's what the Egyptians are showing us in Abydos and the overlays. All the secrets are out there. You just got to understand them. And there is a point whereby the fields become balanced. A middle kingdom. Old and new, northern hemispheres and southern hemispheres.
Oh my gosh, he just rambles.
Anubis using the scales and the duet, then the duality, the balance. What is a duet? The jewel, the overlay, the central point. Where is the heart of man? At its midway point, the midpoint chakra. It is green.
The chakras.
What color is Thoth tablets?
Everything.
Do you suspect
Everything.
green may be a divine color at a divine point in the seasonal changes? Ma'at, the goddess, responsible for maintaining order. Order in the universe. The heart / overlay is the seat of the life spirit.
Yeah, oh my
place
gosh.
where you collect your free pass go out.
Jeran, you just rambles. All right, I'm gonna jump and see if we can get. Ooh, that looks interesting. He's got some more visual aids there.
But you've seen this model, haven't you? Where you turn the sea to north.
I have.
Northern sky projects.
You're the first person I've ever seen that provide that. Yeah.
It's exactly how it works.
I wanted to correct one person in the chat. One person in the chat
That's exactly how it works. How do you know that? Just because he said so.
is going after Conspiracy Library says, Joan, you're full of it. He only started talking about a 24-hour sun in the past few months. That's not true. I'm trying to find the video. He's got a video from a year ago where he's talking that there is a 24-hour sun in the south. So just want to
Well,
point that out.
I've got older videos from way back I've taken down. I've got a couple of hundred videos I'm supposed to edit and put back up.
But you've got one on your channel, right, from a year ago that talks about the 24-hour sun? I just don't like when people make claims.
I'm not even
true.
sure.
Okay.
I mean, I just only touched on it for a second or two in the video. I'm not even sure why I called it that, but...
Oh, it may not be in the title then? Okay.
It is in the title. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what it's called, 24-hour sun, yeah.
So this one says, Flat Earth Antarctic 24-hour daylight explained. See description. This is from 1 year ago. Let me get the date of it. This one was, does it put the actual date? Yeah, premiered May 23rd, 2023. So that's over a year ago. Look
at this. Andrea Marshall. You see that? Lindsay is not very wise. He's trying to educate this with this ancient knowledge. It's just made up garbage pulled from his butt. Literalist Christians have been fooled and will never get this wisdom. Well, yes, literalist Christians that think the earth is flat have certainly been fooled. But there's no wisdom to be had here. He is just insane.
The ecliptic plane is down and out. The entire Antarctic region is in full daylight 24/7. The sun is merely an image seen within every man's arc of horizon. It's not a one-off spotlight revolving around the flat Earth. The sun is seen at nodal points in the Earth's net, the curving magnetic field lines north and south, and Earth's toroidal field. So just pointing out that Joan is not off, and that he was talking about this. That's now, 16 months ago, and explaining that there was a 24-hour sun. So just wanted to clear that up. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's just understanding the flexing of the magnetic field as to how it all comes out. I mean, it is hard to explain, but it's the secrets hidden within a vortex. And they're getting into it a bit in their science now, how the heart works through this vortex system. It was a good site I read, it was a while ago. The guy discovered that the heart was the vortex, and he unraveled it, and it was a big S curve. And, if you vortex water, no matter how tall the vortex is, there's only one S curve. You can shrink it down, have a vortex this high or that high, it's only one S curve. And that's the S curve of creation. We have two in the center vortex.
Oh my gosh. All right. Seriously.
It's mist and settles into the Buford Gyre. There's more proof that there's a vortex above. Because the Buford Gyre goes clockwise, but if you take it up and look upwards, it's anti-clockwise. It's the northern night sky, isn't it?
No.
And knowing
why?
Polaris is actually the sun.
Polaris is actually the sun, people.
Because the sun is a star, but it's only illuminated this way across the black hole. The black hole is the amplifier. But a nighttime image straight up above it, it's a star, and it's going around the black hole.
We've got somebody asking, can you ask him what he thinks about the moon being a plasma like the professor in the 60s said? Or do you think not?
He was partly right. You obviously can't go to it. It's not physical, but not plasma. It's a negative image of the sun. The sun's a positive plasma. The moon is a negative image.
November just got here. He wants you to start over. I'm just kidding. That's what he says.
The sun is the plasma, the pure white plasma.
But it's not.
It's a negative image. It's a negative.
I mean, Jeran already showed you that's not pure white.
It's taken away. It's taken out of that plasma as a negative. So whatever you want to, I don't know what they name it. Would name that in physics. But the sun isn't actually created until it gets this magnetic field up here. You got the dual capacitance, electromagnetic induction, which is through magnetism, two south poles, and
it's just making up stuff.
Then they have to add the north pole. If you don't understand me, try and understand. Nigel's cheese is just as difficult, but he knows all this.
I know. I thought you were the same person for a long time.
Yeah. And that silly old Toon guy, he didn't even know what a bloody Pommy accent is. Didn't even know the guy was English. So this is your free power, and Nigel knows how to create free power from magnetism.
Lindsay was going after me there for a second.
So, anyway, let's move on. Got another question?
Yeah. So just to make it clear, when looking through a telescope and seeing the sunspots move and the sun flares, is he saying what I see is a hologram?
Yeah, so realize the sun's image comes through the Milky Way, and if there's anything, so you've got I don't know, you got the Milky Way, and you're seeing the image out at this end here. So if there's a star happens to be in here or whatever, it's going to show up on the face of the sun, because the sun, this disc here is being projected from the real one back in here. So if there's a star between here and there, it's going to show up as a dot on the sun face.
Yeah, I looked into that before, and I couldn't quite marry those two because the stars seem to move across the sun like in a day, but on the sunspots take longer than that. But
All right. As promised, here is the dual Earth theory by Jeran. It's his own website. It's I think it's mostly dead. This is dualearththeory.proboards.com, and I'll just jump down to his picture. There it is. This is what he thinks the Earth looks like. You've got on the top, you've got the North Pole in the middle, out to the equator, and on the bottom, you've got the South Pole in the middle, out to the equator. And guess what? You have magical transporters that transports people between the two equators. How does it happen? Nobody knows. How did he discover it? He just pulled it out of his butt. And where's the sun? Well, where else would the sun be but sandwiched between the two discs? And how do we get light from it? It just wraps around and comes around the outside, bendy light, just like Shane St. Pierre needs, just like Lindsay is declaring here. Just like all flat earthers, the sun does whatever it needs to do to work in their desperate, wacky idea. There you go. If you have more questions, go to the FAQ here. There it is. All right, well, enjoy, people. You can go look at that on your own time. It's nuts. It's nuts.
that was just me kind of on a.
No, if you stop and think about it, which way the magnetic field's rotating the circular star formation, you find the stars are moving in the exact right direction across the face of the sun.
Okay.
So in your northern hemisphere, it'd be winding back this way. So you see it go from 8 to 2. Mine, it's going this way, so it'd be going from 4 to 10 p.m. It takes a bit of thought, but once you understand all these are protected from the one central place, all protected like this. So what's between there and creation?
All right.
Spot from the stars at that time. Well, what are these then? They're not even talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
So I tracked it all the way up. I was watching it for about 4 days, I think, and then I forgot about it. And it was going all the way up from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I'll just read you some of the physics then regarding this capacitor system creating the sun. This process of generating current in a conductor by placing the conductor in a changing magnetic field is called induction. That's magnetic induction that old Toon doesn't understand. This is called induction because...
Oh, dude. Lindsay, buddy. Lindsay, I'll just show you here. All right. You just show me. All right. You go grab yourself a copy of this and you show me where this all, this works. Here's the Foundation of Electromagnetic Theory, 4th edition. This is the copy I used when I was in school by Reitz, Milford, and Christie. And you just show me where all of this happens, right? Where does this all... Right? So, yeah, I mean, I went through this book. It's been a couple years, I'll say. But, if you want, feel free. Lindsay, if you want, I'll get a copy of this. I'll just give me your address. I will have a copy of this shipped to you, and then you can show me where all of your stuff comes from with this as a reference. Now, if you have a different reference you prefer, Lindsay, I'll be glad to use it. Maybe there's a different text. Maybe you want the 3rd edition or the 1st edition. I mean, maybe this text didn't even exist when you studied this topic. You're clearly, in your elderly age here. So I don't know. Anyway, just let me know, Lindsay. I'll be glad to review it. You just need to, cite your source.
There is no physical connection between the conductor and the magnet.
Okay, so I'm just going to show this real quick. I have to shrink it so much to show it. So this is a stellarium view. That's not going to be very good because it's terrible size. Hold on one second. I need to get that larger, or else it's not going to work. Let me go to browser solo and then go to this full size. Here. All right, so that should be. Oh, you can't see that. There you go. So this is just a view from stellarium. Again, I'm not saying this is exactly as it is. Obviously, could be different, but for the most part, I think it matches. So you'll see. Oh, you can't see the time period here at the bottom, but I'm just going to move it forward by a day. So it's right now it's on 7/11/2024. I'm hitting it now. It's at 7/12. Okay, so back here 7/11, 7/12. So you'll notice that that's one full 24 hours. So watch these two stars here. I'm going from 7/11 to 7/12. So you'll see how far they move just in one day. So the same thing would be true if we spun this around a little bit. So it can't take more than 2 days to get across the sun.
No, it depends on which stars. I mean, how close are they? There's this all this depth.
What?
There's depth to the atmosphere. Like there's closer stars to you than.
No, but the stars are all going to make the same move in 24 hours. They can't be some move differently than others. See, so like for instance, watch this. Each step that I take.
Man, Lindsay is struggling with that. Jeran gets it. He knows that the stars, all the stars move relatively the same, right? To each other. And Lindsay, just like Marissa, lives in a different world where he can just declare that things happen and it just does.
Take is a day. So God, you can't really see that very well. Let me try and shrink this up this way. There you go. Now you can see the date. That's what I wanted to do. Hold on one second.
You've got to think, where are those stars in relation to the sun? The original sun. So.
Oh, well, I'm just talking about the sun that we see. Because if you think about what Austin Thompson has shown, is he's shown sunspots that move across the face of the sun in about, I'd have to ask him, I'm guessing it's 6-7 days, but I could be off by that by a little bit. But you'll see a sunspot, it's the same one that moves slowly across the sun. So this, now I'm just going to punch forward an hour or a day. See how we're at 7/7? So now we're at 7/8. So watch this star Wasat here. So 7/8, 7/9, 7/10, and now it's past it. So it can't be more than a day that it takes. Right there, it's behind the sun. Then the next day, it's way past it.
Yeah, but remember you got this big S curve in here, the cycle. Is that star there or is that star here?
Let me bring it back to you.
You know,
Go ahead.
You've got all this expansion in here as the distance in relation to the image you're going to get out here. So you're probably looking at this one coming up here, but this one back, no, it'd be the other way around. That big one there would be that big one. The little one's probably way out here maybe. And it's fainter, it's smaller, whatever, because it works like this.
How does he know it works like that? Because he said so.
You're seeing the thing move from there to there, but this thing's only moving from there to there. So you go right back into the center, that's what you're getting. Your big ones are there, the little ones just here and there.
Yeah, Polaris is the sun, he said. What happened to that?
Okay.
That's the whole system with this ecliptic plane. It's all the energy comes out of here, but you've got all these cycles. Because the sun is right there, he's got the most energy. That's why nothing can pass the sun. It does the circle quicker than anything. I could do one on this. No one in the world knows what this is. The Japanese have come up with an idea, but no, it's not illuminated yet. And then you have the raw.
I'm looking for. I mean, he rambles a lot, and I'm looking for where Jeran has his response.
Millions of miles away. Or how I found that first by filming star trails looking at the celestial equator. You see the gap at the right time of the year. You've got the two fields have divided like this.
A gap.
And you've got Orion's belt as a reference because it's in the gap because it goes straight through. It does not curve around with the other stars. So use it as a reference point. And you check out, take a lot of star trails and get an idea of what's going on. And then you find, then you find this star is this one in the north, and this one in the north is this one in the south. And they cross through Orion's belt. They're the same. And this is more widely dispersed because there's a 3-to-2 ratio. The southern hemisphere is spread out more. So it's a wonky sort of cross, sort of like that. It's one of the divine crosses, but there's three.
It's a wonky cross.
Polaris is a 3-star system. There's the Sun, Venus, and Mercury. And then when they go to South,
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you catch that? Polaris is a 3-star system. The Sun. What did he say? Oh my gosh. All right. I don't see Eric Burns in here or any astronomers. Your head's gonna explode. I'm gonna back it up a little. All right, get ready.
there. It's one of the divine crosses, but there's 3. Just like Polaris is a 3-star system. There's the Sun, Venus, and Mercury.
The Sun, Venus, and Mercury are the 3 stars in Polaris. Oh my gosh.
And then when they go
Jenna Forrest, I'm sorry. Try to keep your head from popping off.
to South, the Sigma Octantis only 1 because they're not looking for the star that's been stretched out
Oh, and Eric Burns. Yep. Sorry. Keep your heads on, people.
here and here. A lot of flat earthers don't even know that this Polaris is doing a circle around the black hole.
The black
And
hole.
it does a circle. It's circling the black hole because it's from down inside the vortex here. There's Polaris moving around there at night. We're looking up at the stars. All the stars are in.
Is the black hole at the Earth level or under it or above it?
Well, you can imagine it's above it, but the black hole is basically all the way down the Milky Way.
So it's okay.
All the way down the Milky Way.
All the way down the
been
Milky Way.
Projected into our realm, but it's originally from the flat plane. It's just a flat plane of nothingness, stillness. Like when you're dead, you'll monitor flat lines. But because of this projection, illumination from the sun, you could say that's.
It didn't work otherwise. I mean, cannot be true because.
Well, sometimes I don't know if you can. The north, it was at Meta 369, whatever that call sign for your
Yes.
yeah,
YouTube channel.
yeah, or
All right, so I think Lindsay is wrapping up, and Jeran, I think, is going to respond now.
I think it might be at Lindsay Harris for Facebook. Yeah, just research your own physics. I mean, they've got all the physics. They know everything. It's just putting it in a different picture. Don't follow their little. Don't you get outside their little box where all the dumb globies are? I know physics. You don't know physics. No, you take your physics and bring them over here, buddy.
Yeah, you don't know physics, Lindsay. The thing. This is flat earthers. How they come to where they are at. None of them can do science. None of them ever have successfully done science. They with a couple exceptions. I'm generalizing. For the most part, the mandatory science classes they took while in school were it baffled them, right? And in the United States, biology and chemistry are mandatory in high school. Well, you start with like physical science in ninth grade. Biology, chemistry. This is pretty normal progress. Different school systems and states have different rules. And then after that, your senior year, you've covered it. You don't have to take another science. Often it's an optional one. Then it would be physics. So very rarely have any flat earthers taken a physics class. Very rarely. For the most part, they skipped it. Their physical science, biology, chemistry classes, they struggled through, probably had to cheat off other people to pass the classes. If they did pass without cheating, they just scraped through. They don't get it. They didn't understand how to do things. They didn't understand what they were doing. None of it was maintained in them. It wasn't, something they internalized. And then they never did science again. And so they don't know how science works. They don't know how to do science. They don't know how to validate a hypothesis. They don't know how the the laws of physics and the understanding of physics came to be. They just think somebody says it and that's it. Right? That is how they think science functions. Right? And so when you hear them talk scientism, you hear them say the cult of science. These are people that never did science, so they don't know what they're talking about. They are the last people on Earth to have a critique for science. So then they think, since they think that science is just people saying things, then you have Lindsay here, who just says things and doesn't know anything about science, doesn't know anything about physics, and you just heard him say it's real science, and that anybody that doubts needs to come to him and look at his real science. But he's never done science. He you hypothesize something, you then go and test it. You know. And in order to test it, you have to compute the consequences of your hypothesis. You have to make, typically, a quantitative prediction. You could do a qualitative if you're, kind of a basic version of it, but a quantitative prediction, something that's got numbers to it, right? They've never done this. None of them have ever done it at all. And that's how Lindsay thinks that it's done, and he just gets to declare it, and that's how it is. So that's how he got to where he is, and that's how almost all flat earthers get to where they are. Is they don't understand how it's done, and that's what he's doing.
What's weird about those guys is they are the equivalent of, they love to tell the story of Galileo and Copernicus, and what they're doing is they're pretending to be the people who have all the knowledge, and they're saying anything coming from outside this cannot be true because we already know the truth, which is exactly what they talk about.
That's not it, Jeran. That's not it. Everything in science is available to be falsified, but just saying it doesn't falsifying it, and just questioning it doesn't falsify it. You actually have to do the work. So if you come in and you say that's wrong and don't bring anything with it, you're ignored. You are completely dismissed. Because there's no value to what you're saying. There's no meat behind your claims. You actually have to bring something to it. Why would you dismiss something that's been empirically confirmed with no reason?
With Ptolemy and those guys, and then they're like, oh, Copernicus came and he changed science, and it's like they're okay with that story, but now they feel like they live in the time where we know all the answers, and if it's not in a physics book, that it cannot be true. And I think that's just retardation.
No, again, it's just you need to do what Copernicus did. You need to bring stuff to it.
Just really, if you think we have all the answers now, look with dark matter and dark energy, and we know the distance to the star.
So dark and flat earthers, Jeran is at the head of this one. We don't say that dark matter and dark energy is proven. It's the best hypothesis. How about that?
I mean, it's just insane. I mean, and everything that happened with those distances came because of the fact that it didn't work otherwise. I mean, Tycho Brahe's model worked best, and because otherwise he was like, well, what are you saying? That the stars would have to be hundreds of times as big as the sun. That's impossible. Well, then they just adopted that. Oh, they are 100 times bigger than the sun. So
not all of them. Why do you say that?
Now we've got this incredible distances and sizes, and Globers love to go around and be like, oh, you guys are just afraid of big numbers. It's like, no, everybody in the world knew that that's ridiculous. You just adopted it because you've been taught it and you think it's true. But it's insane. It's insane to think that the closest star to us, is 25 trillion miles away. You're insane if you believe that.
But why? Why is that a problem? It was that number. I mean, this goes to what I just said. That number wasn't just brought out of nowhere. There's a reason why that number happens. There's a reason why that number is presented. If you don't like it, then look into it. If you think it's wrong, then analyze it and show where it's wrong. Show where the actual measurement is wrong. You know, just saying if you think it's this number, then you're crazy, isn't a refutation.
Well, it all comes about because you can't detect the position of a star because the hologram from two different locations. Everything is all on your arc of horizon, all seen back to the observer at 90 degrees. So if this guy's looking at a star and this guy's looking at a star, to get that lining up, they have to go for billions of miles.
Yeah,
they just don't meet.
It doesn't work anyway because they both have to look 89.99999 degrees.
Yeah. And so it all depends on latitude.
Is he talking parallax? Maybe he's talking parallax.
And you're in your circle. Where are you latitude-wise and longitude? This guy's over here. There's no way you can get them bearing in when they're a holographic projection. That's why they have to give you billions of miles away. It's rubbish.
All right, and after this show, I just want to come back. I'll probably do another show right now, just because I have to talk about this. I'm just looking at all these crazy. I found a good site that's showing me all this stuff. So let's come back and we'll do this, just because I wanted to see all this stuff and look at the years these things were built. 1600, 1500. What are you talking about? How could they have built this in 1600 with no electric power tools? What do they use? Screwdrivers? And I mean, how is this built in 1600? How do people believe this? Look at this thing. Incredible.
Well, you sort of get an understanding of you.
This idea that somehow we are better than they were back then at doing these things. Why do you need a drill to do that? It's this weird hubris that people have, that somehow we have more technology, therefore we should be able to do it better. And if we couldn't do that now, then how could they do that then? Well, a lot of it is labor. Labor's expensive now, and they had ways of making it cheap back then.
You realize.
Oh, and they also didn't have TikTok back then. So, people had less things distracting them.
Nothing is actually physical. You can go to bed and wake up and be in a new set, a new movie, a new storyline. And this is what happens.
We're just living in the middle of a lengthy one.
Oh my gosh, he goes.
It could restart your sons.
All right, so I'm trying to find where Jeran gets into it, because Jeran does go after it, and doesn't accept his nonsense.
Sun's coming from the east.
Okay.
There's the west.
Where are you?
This New Zealand's there. This New Zealand's there.
Okay.
We're not getting the sun all day long, so
you lose it because it gets too far away, right? It heads over towards Australia, then it leaves Australia, it's going towards Africa, and that's when you lose it. So
it's like the clock arm all the way around here.
Right. So why would somebody at the end of the clock arm have a sun that goes around them, but somebody on the clock arm would not?
Yes,
Graham, again, I'm not
saying. Now I get where you're coming from. I can get that sort of in my mind and have it organised. See, if I know what I'm going to be asked,
okay, that's good.
I can organise that.
That's good. Do that kind of thought process, which is my problem with it is, if it seems to me that you're saying, okay, let's go clock arm. The clock arm's moving the sun, and the sun arm is moving around the earth. Okay, great. So then why would it be somebody at the very end of the clock arm sees a sun doing a 360 around them, but along the clock arm, those people actually see night and day?
Yeah.
Right.
So the clock is coming out of there, and look, it's not much happening there. It's getting all bulging out here, so it's getting more light. It's just the way the magnetic field is bulged out. But I can rearrange that so it might make a bit more sense next time.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry, I have the wrong view on the whole time. My bad, guys. I did not know that was still on. Anyway, they can still see you. It just they couldn't see me.
But you just got to imagine all this outer field here is all out here, this bulgy part of the magnetic field, and you're getting more illumination out here now.
Yeah, the illumination makes sense. I mean, I believe in a 24-hour light. I don't believe in a 24-hour sun because I don't have any mechanism to why the sun would be going around somebody in the south, but not along the hour hand of the clock, like you would say.
Well, it's because it's this movement between the two fields that the sun is moving within here. So as this pulls apart, the sun moves further back up that way.
Right.
Oh, as it's Well, as it's moving back in, I should say,
right,
going back up that way. But as it's pulled apart, the pressure's going down. The sun's going to move that way.
Okay.
So the field is going to be stretched back up into the north and back down. But I can try and
draw that out just as an idea, just how it would happen at the end of the clock hand versus because the inside of the clock hand also sees the sun go around them. When the sun gets up the clock hand towards the north, they see it go around. So I guess I don't see where it disappears from going around people throughout the clock end, but then at the very end, we say it does the same thing again.
Yeah. So it must be around about the 65-degree mark where they don't want you going beyond.
That's exactly where it begins, supposedly.
Is where you start realizing, shit, there's two suns.
Correct. Yeah.
Because the sun's going around up here. How the hell can it be going around down here?
Right. Okay. That's good. I'm glad you covered that part. That's the part that
But
confuses
it's
me.
moved right out down there because
Oh, Jeran's like, come on, Jeran. You're giving him a little too much credit there. He spent all this time. None of it made sense.
this flux in the magnetic field, the flux. If you've got the big 2-to-3 ratio, and the flux just becomes a lot bigger as you so you go like this, you draw it out. It's sort of like that.
Almost like a figure eight then.
Yeah, a big bulgy like the sun in a lemon. But it's
Right.
pretty hard to draw, I think, if you haven't got 3D graphics.
Yeah, I know.
You've gotta
I wish I
jump
had
from
3D graphics. If anybody wants to become mine and Leslie's 3D graphic maker, let's do that. I need one. But no, I appreciate you being on, and we will talk again, and hopefully somebody can do a little better job of explaining it, maybe, or you can, or they'll make a channel and help you out. That'd be great. Let me make sure there's more.
This here, they showed it quite well on that Epicore. Is it Epicore? The sun motions over the year.
Yeah,
3D?
I think Steve did a good job of showing that, and then adding atmosphere and showing that
Oh my gosh.
it looks identical to what we see. Seeing if there's anybody else. All right, that's great. Thank you very much to Upside Down Guy for.
All right, I couldn't find. I have the transcript up. I couldn't find where Jeran actually like disproved it. He said he disproved it. I don't know. I don't. All right. There's. Oh my god. There's nothing that makes sense in that. Nothing at all. It's all just nuttery. It's word salad. It's just the insane ramblings of a madman. Lindsay Harris, none of that makes sense. None of that has any backing evidence. All of those things that you claim has nothing. No reason for it. No plausible mechanism. Everything there has to be ignored. Because you didn't back it at all. That which is asserted without evidence is dismissed without evidence. You're like, oh, it's just common sense. No, it's not. It's not just common sense that the sun is above the North Pole and that the sun is Polaris and that Polaris is also the sun and Mercury and Venus and that there's an S-curve and that there's a vortex spiral and that somehow it's projected out and everybody sees a different version of it. Why? None of that. None of that makes any sense why that would happen. And anybody looking at that and thinking, "Ooh, yeah, that sounds good." No, you're stupid. You're just stupider than he is, and he's really stupid. All right. Ice 74 says Level Earth Observer and Bev should show the trend, not claim anything. Yes. That's what I was talking about. Flat Earthers, they realize that they have nothing. Right, when they're like, don't make any claims. You know, they sit around on their Discord servers all day long practicing with each other. You know, don't make any claims. When Witsit got berated by QE got mad at Witsit because Witsit made claims. Right? It's a central part of once they get past this. It's these phases of flat Earth. They see a video and they're like, I can't. What? I don't know. And then they try to debunk it by watching flat Earth videos for 2 weeks. Right? If you can't figure out that the sun could never set on flat Earth, if you can't figure that out, you're the target market. You're dumb enough to buy flat Earth. So then they watch all these videos, the introductory videos that make all these claims. And of course, the essence of all of them is not evidence for flat Earth. Every one of them is the same pattern on the introductory to flat Earth. It's the globe predicts, and then something that the globe does not predict. This observation doesn't match. Of course it doesn't match. It doesn't match the thing that the globe doesn't predict. Therefore, flat Earth. Right? You'll notice they incorrectly described the globe, and then it's a false dichotomy because the conclusion isn't therefore flat. The conclusion is, well, the first conclusion would be, or the first, not conclusion, the first line of investigation would be, are you sure that you did the prediction right? And then if it were done correctly, it never is, then it's okay, well, there's something not understood about the globe. Okay? Never do you come around to drawing a conclusion any stronger than that. So, and Dirt Bike says that I can't even say words here. Right there. Look at Dirt Bike. What them's fighting words, Dirt Bike. Country, serious? Are you serial right now? Country? Oh my gosh, Dirt. Billy 36 says Lindsay's insane, but Jeran doubting Renaissance cathedrals is next level self-importance. Yeah, it's the Tartaria stuff, right? It's they don't understand how people that were skilled, who developed a skill, could have made something. Therefore, only people with lots of technology could have done it. The problem is we have lots of technology. It's the labor. Back then, labor was cheap. So, oh my gosh. Geistview says, love to see Kiwi and Lindsay go at it. Kiwi was just tell Lindsay to prove it. Yeah. That's true. But yes, Leo and Bev, they don't claim anything. And the flat earthers on Discord servers, that's it. Facty says balloon go down, go boom boom. Isider 74 says it would make more sense for him to talk about candy bars. Well, he is talking about the Milky Way. Lisa is a new member at Einstein. Thank you very much, Lisa. Glad to have you here. Now you can use the emojis. You can do this one here. Maybe everybody wants to drop that emoji in there. Right there. The Dearth is a scammer one. Left-handed Jedi gifted 5 memberships. 5 more people get to use the Dearth is a scammer emoji. James Lynn says, not a big chatter, but a fan of your show. We emailed about Tab. Do you think Jeranism really believes in flat Earth? I think he's bluffing and will back out of the final experiment. I think at this point, Jeran has some concerns. He's not... The route that I explained that all these other flat earthers did, where they have all these things that they thought proved flat Earth, but they've discovered over time that they don't, so that they're not making claims anymore. Well, Jeran is either past that, or he took a different route, and now he's saying here's something that is it needs to match or doesn't. And if it doesn't, then it's a problem. So, but do I think he's bluffing and will back out? I don't think he's bluffing. I don't think he'll back out if he agrees to it. He hasn't yet. He has said, he's been consistent, I'll go if another flat earther goes, and he thinks Austin's the one. That should go. Austin is, they just had another kid. So yeah, their life is in flux right now. So I think that if Austin will go, Jeran will go, I think they both will go. So I don't think they'll back out. Beyond Storm Chasing says people are generally smart and always have been. Engineers 2,000 years ago would be pissed if they found out we were claiming aliens were responsible for their work. Yes. That's definitely the case. I agree. People figured stuff out. And a lot of the things that they figured out did not get recorded. Much of it was spoken or handed down person to person and never written down. That was part of the Mason way back in the day when they actually did things, right? Today's Freemasons, they just go to meetings. The actual original Freemasons had techniques that they had learned from others, and they didn't share them with people, freely. They would make sure that who they were sharing the information with was deserving. So Steve 6464 could be. All right. James Lynn, I read that already. So DC has a $4.99 super chat with no message. DC, if you'd meant to put a message in there, just tag me. I'll read it. Thank you very much for that. iSolder74 says, how did they build it? Masons, lots of masons. Yeah, and lots of labor. There are videos on YouTube or TikTok of people taking marble and a chisel and a hammer and chiseling away designs into the marble. That's how they did it. It took days. It took lots of people. Yep. They had lots of time. They had lots of people. Right. Paul says, all I ever met were expensive masons. Yeah, they're not free, actually. Brilliant says, how did the aliens get through the dome? And that's of course, the flat earthers that think that it was Tartarians, they have offer a different explanation. Oh. So, let's see. Deadpool 2028. I agree with MC Toon. Witsit will move to pure geocentrist and drop the flat. He basically already has all he talks about. Yeah. Because he doesn't even try anymore. His almost all of his stuff is geocentrism globe. And then, it's just a projection. He sometimes says coordinate transform. It's just a projection from globe to flat. Easy. Like he takes, if you've seen the spirograph pictures of the planet's movements, that's the planet's movements from a geocentric globe point of view. That's not the planet's movements from a flat Earth view. Because if you plot the position of the planets over flat Earth, they're doing circles, right? The GP of Jupiter, right? The GP of Jupiter over flat Earth is circles that are changing very slowly with time. Not as slowly as the stars, but it's just going to be that's all it is. It doesn't have these epicycles. It only has the epicycles in the geocentric globe model. So, I don't know. Is Austin smarter than Jeran? That's a good question, Teens Player. They come at it differently. That's for sure. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about that. They're very different in how they approach things. So anyway, tomorrow I may do a pre-show, and it'll be late. I'll first tell you about the show. The big show. The debate is 11 p.m. Central Time with facts, but nothing but the facts, which is 5 a.m. UK time. That's when he wanted to debate. So that's the plan. He's a little unreliable. Hopefully it happens. Anyway, the pre-show might happen with Ozian or Matters Now. So, DC says no message needed. That was $4.99 because you covered perfectly. Thanks, DC. Ozian and I might do something. He got some stuff with a vacuum chamber. We might do some live demonstrations. So that's the plan. Thursday, maybe. We'll see. We'll see if we do something Thursday. So, Max says, "Can I join the pre-show too?" Yes, if I do it, yeah, we can have a few people in there and have a good chat. So that's what we're gonna do. There it is. All right, thank you everybody. I appreciate very much that you were here. Thanks to Lindsay for just being, insane. And I don't know. I'll see if I can find where, and maybe at a different time review Jeran's actual response to it. It's buried in 2.5 hours of video. I didn't dig it out ahead of time. So anyway, people, we'll see you next time. Thanks. Or no, I don't know. The video didn't load. All right, I'm watching for it to come back. There it is. Okay, so the video hadn't loaded. So it's coming. Here we go. Trying again. See,
Here we go. MC Tune, drop that beat.
I know how to do that.
Let it flow. Let yourself go. So I know that is the tempo.
So, yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this. Yo, it's MC Tune, the debunking tycoon. I shatter flat earthers, make them face the moon. Your attempts are decent, but they'll swoon in the face of my logic like a deflated balloon. Oh, MC Tune, the one to soon cartoons. On the real say, send it first to their views. Your theories are like old brews, sweeping ignorance or just spreading the views. FDFB stands for fumbling the facts, evidently. I drop truth bombs so splendidly. Your approach is soft, mine's unrelenting. I bring the science while you're just venting. MC Tune, the thing with silver spoons. I tackle pseudoscience, make them change their tune. You're the sidekick, I'm the room. When it comes to debunking, I'm the room. But hey, FDFE, we share the creed to educate and debunk, plant the seed. Though in this rap, it's clear indeed I've got the upper hand, then word indeed. All right, hold on a second. The Zoom call died. Everything died. No.